bare vente lige et øjeblik. Jeg skal lige, ind her. Hvor er du? Her. Ja, så er vi vist klar. Ja, der. Så er vi klar. Hvor siger de ikke noget? Nå. Der er 34 minutter her, der er kvarter her. Nå, jeg er allerede startet. Nå, men pyt med det. Jeg synes bare ikke, at jeg kan høre noget. Hallo? Der kan du se nu. Alt er godt. Før hørte jeg ham sige noget. Nå, vi er klar igen. Den bliver nu ventileret. Det er, at man kommer vand i. Eller også er det rent ilt. Og så kører man igennem, og så bliver den stoppet. Vi kan se her, bliver den ventileret. Og det er det. Vi har stadig det samme billede. Jeg kommer tilbage om kvarter. Så er vi klar til at toppe. At toppe, det vil sige komme fylde på tankene. Så er der en halv time til en time. Jeg tror kun, det tager 20 minutter. Høj. Hvis ikke mindre. Mm. 20:01. Ja. Man kommer brændstof ind, og så skyller man igennem det hele. Ser om systemerne virker, om der er nogen issues. Er der ikke det, så sætter man gang i påfyldning af tankene. Så det er det. Jeg skulle have ventet en halv time, et kvarter. Men det er okay. Jeg kan ikke finde... Jeg kan stadigvæk ikke finde min trøje. Nå, nu har jeg fundet den. Jeg skal lige have lidt suppe igen. Der er lige en suppe. Ja. Så er vi tilbage. Og mere suppe. Kan vi godt tåle. Tåle. Ja, jeg må lige prøve, om lyden virker. Og det gjorde den. Der er ikke rigtig lyd på her i YouTube-kanalen. Det ser ud som det går hjem. Ja. Kan det være noget fejl, jeg har lavet? Tror jeg ikke. Man ved jo aldrig. Der. Der står leje. Hvor står der ikke leje? Hvordan? Nå. 5 US dollars. Ja, det er for noget. Amerikanerne skal altid have penge for nogle ting. Altid. De får endda deres reklamer og deres bedste papir. Så. Nå, derfor.
I am from the state of Georgia on the East Coast, and I have lived here for about 15 years.
All right, Scotty, where are you from?
I am from Yorkshire in England, as many
Yorkshire.
people seem to ask where they're from. And
Alright.
some people know I'm from Wakefield, so if
Alright,
you park
so
around,
anybody
if
else- And so anybody else in here, go ahead and say where you're from and YouTube chat. I'm from Utah. I'm originally from Colorado. Grandpa Joe, where are you from?
Grandpa Joe, hailing from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Nice.
Currently in Boca Chica.
Yep.
Oh God,
On
we've
side
broken
recorder.
chat again.
Yes, we have.
Just rubbing it in just a
Uh,
little. Loving every minute of it here. But yeah, I can't wait
Yes.
to see where everyone out in the YouTube and out watching the Nerdle. Can't wait to see where everybody else is from.
Looks like we have Jeff in the house as well. Jeff, where are you from? Oh, can't hear him.
From Denmark.
Nope. But,
So, yeah, Danks, are you in here?
Yep. Yeah. I'm
Where
originally
are you from?
Originally from London, but right now I'm in Seattle.
ooh, you've jumped across the pond, have you?
Yep.
Oh wow, look at the chat go, and slow mode is on. So I saw Colorado, one of my favorite places.
We got 50 kind of rules saying where they're from.
Wales, Holland, Poland, Argentina, Belize, Turkey. Wow, we are everywhere in the world. The Nerdles are everywhere in the world.
Everywhere.
So yeah, that. So Grandpa Joe, real quick, what's the situation on the scene that you're? Since you're with us here.
Hey, it's very calm out here. There's very light traffic. We think everyone's left, or a lot of the SpaceX folks have left. The truck's been pulled out. It's bright and just a very light breeze here. No clouds in the sky, and a lot of excitement in the air. We're all very anxiously awaiting the hop, and just we're reaching out and finding all the information we can, from the NASA flight to the engines chilling, and we're waiting to find out what happens next.
All right, thank you, Grandpa Joe. And Grandpa Joe, as I said, is on scene where it is in the safe zone. There is a bit of a distortion there
Smart
because
wolf.
he does not have the best of signal.
what
This
feels
is
natural.
a very remote area on the border
To the
of the US
and
and
a
Mexico,
lot of
along the Rio
excitement
Grande.
in the air.
Yeah, you
we're
guys can see
all very
Starship pretty
anxiously
close.
awaiting
So the other piece of
the
news I
hop,
have here is
and
from Stumpy. He
just
says that
we're
they've
reaching out
been
and finding
venting
all the
halfway up
information we
SN8. So I think that might have been some LOX
from the
venting
NASA flight
that
to
was taking
the
place just a
engines
little bit
chilling,
ago. So
and
thank you
we're
for that, Stumpy.
waiting to find out what happens next.
All right, thank you,
One
Grandpa
other
Joe. And,
bit of trivia:
Grandpa
we
Joe,
may
as I
be the
said,
closest humans when this thing takes off.
is nice. I think there might be some people at Stargate building, is what I heard yesterday. So you might still be beat by the SpaceX employees, but non-SpaceX employees, yes, you have that achievement unlocked on that.
The other thing that we note is that the smartest man and the team of smartest people on Earth are standing behind us, further away from the exploding rocket.
Oh wow, I'm wondering who that smartest team is. Oh, I know who it is now. You're talking about Lab.
No, Lab's in front of me. So.
Oh, wait, then who's behind you?
Oh, the rest of the SpaceX team.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, if they've gone further away than us, maybe they know something.
Wave them down. Come on, guys. Tell us what's going on. On-scene reporting here.
And they're like, no, they're behind sandbags.
Right. I did have the unique opportunity to speak with a few of the SpaceX team members yesterday out at the South Padre Island Beach. And the last thing they left me with was, hey, we'll see you again here tomorrow for another chance to launch. So who knows? Today may be the day.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, Grandpa Joe. There's so many donations coming in, I'm gonna have to try to keep up with here, but we do have, continuing on, I'm sorry, it's like, I can't pronounce the name, but it's, they donated $4. It says, let's light this candle. Cashman 8882 donated 50 Norwegian krone. Dark Matter $2, up and away. Jaspreet Sign, is donated 20 units. I'm not sure exactly which units those are. Mark Kindle, in memory of Chuck Yeager, donated $5. Thank you for that, Mark. Austin Sonwall donated
Hello,
$5.
YouTube.
NASA 960 is flying
Hello,
in circles
Facebook.
off Texas coast at the moment.
Hello, Twitter.
Jude Benvades, $5. Outstanding job,
Sweet.
folks. Thanks. The
Remington.
Tonic donated $5. Seattle currently lived in New Orleans for 16 years. Odin Haru donated 5
All
British
is
pounds.
working,
It's
and
from
we are expecting to.
the UK.
Jeg skal lige ned her. Og så skal jeg have lukket den ned.
Cannot wait to see S.
Sådan der, så kan I høre mig og ikke høre, hvad de siger. Det er jo også godt nok. Vi står her i Boca Chica, og grænsen ved Mexico og Texas. Så er jeg sammen med spansk her, Boca Rica. Boca Chica.
If you ever go to a gig,
Spansk navn,
it's just like tradition
og
in
alt er
Yorkshire,
spansk
just do it
her.
over again.
Det var gammel spansk.
That was awesome, just
Thank
see that
you.
fly by.
Jo, kæmpe tilbage.
Go ahead, Thomas.
Men
sorry,
nu
it's
har
just-
vi den
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and
Raptor,
just go through
Oil, på
all the
skal
news
endelig
first. I might be able to thank everybody.
er begyndt at blive sygt.
We're hitting crunch time
Ja.
here. So the next
Ved at blive
question
ventileret
we have on
igennem,
the list is from Max Weiser. They ask,
og ved at blive
helicopter
fyldt
with
op,
registration,
tror jeg.
N140TX is nearby, maybe patrolling, owned by the Texas State Department of Public Safety. So not a question, but a comment. That's really cool news.
Så
Thanks, Max.
der er ikke så langt tilbage.
Blind Banana asks, is there any fuel loss during an abort?
SpaceX,
The answer to that is yes, actually. Not too much. I mean, there is some fuel that is lost when they vent to relieve the pressure quickly, but it's not a significant amount. I'd say only a couple percent at most is probably lost, maybe 5 to 10%. The rest of it they pull back out of the vehicle and run it through the system and back into the tanks to be used again if they don't actually use it that day.
Okay, and Scotty, what were you gonna say?
I can't remember. I slept since.
Okay. I'll add one more thing to that. Is at
Yeah,
2:16 this
so
morning
the
on
bridge.
lab cam, because my camera keeps going backwards in time and showing nighttime shots on that one. They did have a lock struck out, and that's due to the fact that they did vent a lot of
Vi
locks,
venter
but mostly
på
for the
at få
engine chill.
fyldt tankene op.
They use a ton of locks. It just comes out pouring in
Vi kan se, der kommer
large, copious amounts.
ilt ud
So
af
I'm hoping to see a lot more engine chill today, 'cause
ventilatoren.
I suspect yesterday
ventilerne.
that was their main issue, is that they were not able to get the
Hvad er
engine
det,
chilled in
tanken
time.
på?
They've had that problem in the past. The other problems they've had was the spin valve and some other things, but hopefully whatever the issue was, or the sensor malfunction or error or reading or whatever it was, has been fixed and corrected, so we can
Alle
actually
folk
go
er
for a
væk.
quick, nice hop here today. Eric Nelson asks, aircraft doors do reside on the forward tapered portion of the airframe and conform to the complex shape. So actually that's another comment, not a question. Thank you for that, Eric. Donald Ostel says, if the ship goes up like this and comes down with flaps, will it expose a... Oh, I'm sorry, that's a earlier question we've already answered. Thanks for
Så
that,
skal
Donald.
vi høre, vi har
Jeweler
Kvarter
at
tilbage, så
large
kommer vi
says,
over
what do
i
you
den
guys
anden
think
program.
of the concept of space elevators? There we go.
Her har jeg været i 6 timer.
So
and you got
what do you
what?
guys think about space elevators?
Jeg kan se det på
Give us,
min.
give us your opinions.
Hej på min.
I think they're possible,
Hvor var jeg
but
på?
the practicality of having a space elevator, obviously you've got to have a material that can withstand the initial building as well, because you've got no. Well, you'd have to start it in space, wouldn't you, and then work downwards? Is that correct? Or am I talking rubbish there?
Well, it works on both directions. So Techno Diano, did you have some other things to add to that? Oh, I guess we lost him.
Vi skal
Most of them.
have
But
det
yeah,
der.
I was thinking more of a slingshot. I my brain was on the wrong track, because you got the sort of like space slingshot where it would be like an orbit like enough to kind of like would turn around on its own.
Nu skal vi lige høre, ikke hvad der bliver sagt, men vi må lige høre, hvad der sker. Det er meningen, at den skal affyres nu her om en times tid. Hopefully. Undskyld. Og så skal den sendes op, 12,5 kilometer op, 60.000 fod, og så skal motorerne stoppes, og så skal den falde vandret i et par minutter, indtil vi når 2 kilometer, så skal den stående oprejst imod flyretningen, og så skal radiketterne tændes, og så skal den lande herover 3 kilometer væk, 5 kilometer væk, skal den lande på jorden. Og der skal den så lande og slukke motorerne, som den plejer, på, så vi har set. Det er bare toppen af den. Det er faktisk kun toppen af isbjerget. Senere kommer der en raket her, der bliver dobbelt så stor som den her, hvor den her skal sidde på. Så det er kun en del af den ting, der skal sendes ud til månen eller til Mars. Og vi har oppe i toppen, har vi kapslen. I dag er der ingen astronauter, der er kun udstyr til computere, hydraulik, sensorer til computerne, alt bliver optaget. Og ellers er der ikke andet i den. Og det der sker nu i øjeblikket, det er, at vi er ved at få tankene fyldt op inde i space, og inde i Raptoren, i øjlen. Og ja, det er det. Og vi håber, I ser med. YouTube! Tom, Leila, Per, Susanne, alle sammen. Velkommen til YouTube. Velkommen til afhøringen. Fra Boca Chica, SpaceX. Det er den, der bliver ejet af Elon Musk, computernørden over alle og verdens rigeste mand, har sat penge i det her afhøringsprojekt. Det er første gang, vi ser nede fra Boca Chica. Der har været nogle ansættelsesforsøg på raketterne, og testen er gået udmærket. Og nu vil man prøve at bevæge den her opad, og så lader den falde ned, og kunne mobilisere den i lodret, og så ansende og standse her ved jordoverfladen. Men det er lavet ikke i messing, men i stainless steel. Det der hedder rustfri stål. Og hvorfor det skal være rustfri stål, det skal det gøre på grund af, at varmen, der bliver udviklet, når den falder, der skal den kunne modstå varme og kulde. Og det er stål bedre til end aluminium. Vi har kun 4 tilbage, og det er herovre til venstre, kan I se, vi har 4. Vi har ventilation, det er vi ved at gøre nu, og vi er ved at påfylde. Og når vi når op til omkring 70-80%, så kommer der damp ud, ilt og nitrogen. Og vi kan se, at vi har Raptor Chill, og bagefter står der næst sidst står launch, og så står der landing. Den skal også lande igen. Abort. Men Raptoren skal chilles på. Så det er det, vi venter på. Hvis I har spørgsmål, så må I skrive det inde på UC.
So we're waiting to see the rough idea. You can see their countdown clock up at the top at 31 minutes. What is that? Does that match up with mine? 31. Yeah, they're a couple seconds behind mine. It's probably live stream delay there, but yeah, it's about. We're both pretty much in sync, down to about a half an hour from now. So we would expect to see some major venting starting in the next 10 minutes or so. Then we would expect major venting to start. Major venting to start. So we haven't gotten that far yet. Let's see. We'll go to. Let's talk about what I haven't gotten to yet. So obviously we talked about this is in yesterday. This is in Boca Chica, Texas. So this is not Cape Canaveral, Florida. This is Texas. Here's our map, just FYI. Boca Chica, down here. The yellow pins. That's where I am. Up there in New York. Boca Chica's down here. Right in this area. There's not really a lot around here. So this is the SpaceX facilities. It's an old map here. So the launch site would actually be right here. The landing site would be right here. This is an old aerial photo, so we don't have, the latest on the actual launch or landing. But look up RGV aerial photography. They do flyovers with an airplane. You can see some pretty cool views if you haven't seen any of their stuff. RGV aerial photography. Over here, this is the village of Boca Chica. Right here, and then you've got your SpaceX launch control center. We don't know if they're actually going to be positioned here, or if they're going to be controlling the rocket from here, or where flight termination would be. That is pretty close. So there probably some control going on, I would guess, in Hawthorne, California, but maybe it's all locally. Generally, you try to have some redundancy there, so that if the rocket heads right towards the launch control center there, somebody in Hawthorne could be like, whoa, cancel, abort. So anyways, we're down here in Boca Chica, and this is the exclusion zone that I was talking about. We can see the aviation exclusion zones here. This is the TFR, the temporary flight restriction. There's actually two of them down in Boca Chica. So there's a small one, which is pretty much applicable all the time, 24/7. That's just so that you don't fly drones over their facility. Or fly too low. That goes up to about 1,800 feet. But then there's the big one. The big outer border here is the major TFR for this particular flight test. So much bigger. You can see, obviously, that's in effect until 2300 UTC today, which is about 6 p.m. Eastern time, where I am, 5 p.m. local time. So we are... We've got that TFR. That's basically when they have to be on the ground and done with their operations by 2300 UTC or 5 p.m. local. So that gives them about, 2.5 hours left in the window? 2.5 hours. We're expecting maybe an attempt in 27 minutes. If they don't make it, if they have to call an abort, it does give them another 2 hours. So, we'd have to see if they would do any sort of recycling. But again, we don't know. We don't even know if they're trying for it yet. But it does look like things are progressing that direction. All right, let's see. Did I get to did I miss anything else? SpaceX is live? I don't have SpaceX Live. Who has SpaceX Live? Or are you just spamming my chat right now? Yeah, I don't have... SpaceX is not live yet. Okay. Go to a couple other comments. Oh, hey, a bunch of our members and Patreon members... saying, congrats for 50,000 subscribers. I guess we must... I don't have that... I can't see it while I'm live. But I believe the reporting. We were very close right before we started this. And apparently we have now hit 50,000 YouTube subscribers. So thank you very much, everybody who has subscribed today. And thank you to all 50,000 of you that have been part of this journey. It's been a lot of fun. I'm excited that this seems like a great... live stream to cross that threshold on. So thank you, everybody. And I'm gonna give I try not to do a ton of shout outs, but this one is actually kind of funny, and I'll explain it here in just a second. But let's see, can I fit this on the screen? Let's see, zoom out. There we go. So this is I'm gonna throw this up here so you guys can see what I'm looking at. This is from this is what I wanted to go to. This is from one of our Patreon members, Anita. I have to give props to Anita because probably like what was it, like a month ago or 2 months ago, we weren't even close to 50,000 subscribers, and I think Anita was the only one, or maybe the first one, that was like, you're gonna hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And I was like, Anita, you're nuts. You don't know what you're talking about, Anita. It's not gonna happen. We're not even that close. Like, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Like, thanks for the kind words, but it's not gonna happen. You're crazy, Anita. But Anita called it, and so she made this awesome image here. Award presented to Space Lobster Nation to overlook a rise of reach and 50,000 subscribers. And all of those are pictures. This is kind of hilarious. Pictures of me and my reactions to launches. I don't know how you got all of those. They look like different ones. They're like different launches on every single one. But there's all my every reaction that I've had to rocket launches. So thank you, Anita. And you somehow called it. I still, I don't know, it's already happened, but I still don't believe you. But thank you, Anita. Really appreciate that. And thank you, everybody. All right. We'll move on from there, but I did want to acknowledge that. All right. We'll keep this feed up here. So I don't see... One thing that's a little bit interesting is I don't yet see any sort of like icing on the outside of the rocket, and not a lot of venting happening here right now. So I don't know. Could we end up with another delay? I don't know. We'll see. Let me get to a couple questions here since we ranted for a while and I saw a bunch of comments come in. What percent do you think we'll see flight today? I don't know. It's 50-50 really. I mean, it's a 50-50 chance. We have no idea. Let's see. Do you have EMS on standby today? Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I think I blacked out yesterday when we got down to 1.3 seconds, but it was kind of crazy. Elon's Twitter confirmed? Somebody said Elon's Twitter. I don't have a tweet from Elon. Let me see. I got notifications for Elon. I see nothing. I think you're lying to me. Yeah. You're not accurate. Be careful. We get there's a lot of people that'll jump in the chat, jump in the stream, and they'll come in, they'll say it's canceled, it's scrubbed. I don't know why. But let's see what else we got. SpaceX has a stream confirmed to begin at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. One thing that I will say, this is a bit of caution. I am using it as a piece of evidence, but if you're to try to determine the launch time, you have to look at multiple pieces of evidence here. You can't just rely on a single piece because it's really easy for those things to be wrong. So. And it's not necessarily wrong, it's just that it's like space, when you're setting up a live stream on YouTube, right? And anybody that's been paying attention the last 2 hours, there's no option to set up the live stream that says, maybe. Like, so they gotta pick sometime. So So don't be surprised if it doesn't go in 21 minutes. It's very possible that they could put the live stream up. They got to have some sort of placeholder, which I have up and ready to go. They got to have some sort of placeholder for the event, and then they may or may not start it at that time. Let's see. So I want to go.
Ja, vi prøver lige at komme lidt igennem der.
Now, the other thing too, the venting on the rocket. I was originally right before I decided to go live. I was gonna wait until like 3:30, which is 3:30 my time, 2:30 Central Time, which is about 10 minutes ago. I was gonna wait until 10 minutes ago to go live because I thought the launch would be about an hour from now. But the activity started picking up a little bit faster than I was expecting. We were not. It seemed appropriate to get things started. So let's see. Let me acknowledge a couple people that are helping support the channel. Stanislas, oh God, I'm sorry. I'm butchering the name here. I'm gonna call you Stan. Rebool. Thank you very much for the super sticker. Appreciate it. Sent 2 super stickers. Thank you. I'm gonna go with Stan. That seems easier. I just don't want to butcher it. I'm gonna butcher it, I'm sure.
Off on the left-hand side. I'm not normally seeing that. I've seen it usually up a little bit higher for like an RCS test or something like that, but that's a little bit different. And that's just at the bottom lower left corner of the lower flap that you can see that. All right, the next question we have here is from Squinty Toasts, and they ask, how about move the ISS to a higher orbit or a Lagrange point? And I guess another question is how do you do that?
I would say that it's possible. It's just whether it's worth the money to move it like that, and due to Starship's large size, I'm sure they could work something out to potentially.
Derfor vi har mit eget live-program. Så som I kan se her, så er vi begyndt at ventilere, men jeg ser ikke noget isdannelse på som man sagde, på raketten. Det er en raket, og der er ikke nogen ventilation. Det er kun før det kommer ind i. Det er faktisk kun nede på jorden, der er ventilation. Så det kommer ikke. Det er ikke fyldt den op endnu. Og det kan ikke være længe, fordi der står, at vi tiller den op. Vi kan lige gå ind her og se, hvornår de siger den. Launch schedule. Det er ikke noget mere. Go for launch. Prøv lige igen. Gå ind her. 46 minutter, siger det. Så det er lidt anderledes. Det er inde i SpaceX. Og så vil vi gå ind her. Igen og se, at det skal nok passe. Det tager vel 20 minutter at få den fyldt op med brændstof. Højst. Måske et kvarter, men så skal være udluftes og skal sørge for pressure og få den under tryk. Den er under tryk nu, det vi ser her. Uden på tanken. Tanken er også under tryk, men det er udenpå, der er under tryk. Det hele rustfri stål, der er under tryk. Og så kommer man trykket ind i tankene, det er jo for at få flydende brændstof ind, så skal man have temperaturen ned, fordi den kommer fra luftform, og så bliver den frosset ned til de her 100 grader minus, 160 måske, for kvælstof, og så bliver det sendt ind, flydende ind i tanken, og her bliver trykket holdt oppe, for at holde det væskefyldt. Nu kan vi se, at nu sker der lidt. I kan se her. Det er ligesom om den er halv. Bare den ikke er. Der kommer noget ud her på neden. Det ser da ikke så sjovt. Ja, det er ikke så godt. Nu håber der ikke sker noget, og vi har også lidt heroppe. Nu er de begyndt at påfylde. Vi har ilten op på oven. I det her område, så har vi brændstoffet på de tre. Den er ligesom delt i en. Der er måske flere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Herop til, hvor ilten kommer. Der fylder først, som regel, brændstof. Det skal antændes, og så fylder man ilten op senere. Og så skulle du gerne have et ordentligt tryk på, så det holder sig flydende og kan blive samlet op af turbomaskinerne, der sender det flydende brændstof ned til raketten, og så skal det antændes. Vi er ved at ventilere den. Der var utroligt så meget, der kommer ud her. Jeg har ikke hørt noget. Vi kan lige gå over til TV1. Bum.
Seven, which looks like this. It's right there. It's a WB-57 observation plane. Has a big camera on the front of it, where they're basically going to record and observe the flight at flight level at 41,000 feet. That's where they were cruising yesterday. They were basically just circling around the launch site, waiting for launch. So about 41,000 feet, right at 12.5 kilometers, which is the apogee of the flight, the peak of the flight. That's where the plane was hanging out with its camera. Not actually over the launch site. It was a little ways away. Like, they can zoom in and watch from a safe distance. But we're waiting on that plane to launch, or at least I was expecting it to launch. Who knows? Maybe it'll go without launching that. We don't know, because it appears that propellant loading has started. You can see some venting right here on the rocket. Right here is venting that's happening. That's liquid oxygen venting from the rocket that indicates that it's being fueled. It's being pumped into the rocket. So liquid oxygen is pumped in at super, super, super cold temperatures. And it heats up. It's hard to keep it that cold once you start putting it in the rocket. So it heats up and it has to boil off. When it boils off, it turns into gaseous form. It expands. That expansion can cause the pressure in the oxygen tank to rise unless you vent it off. So you have to vent off. So basically, it's kind of like 3 steps forward, 1 step back. So you're pumping liquid oxygen in and you're venting it out to the atmosphere. Like you're doing both. So you're pumping in oxygen just to eventually vent it out, but that's kind of the trade-off. So you have to, ideally your fill flow rate has to be more than your vent off rate in order to actually fill the rocket, and it is. But yeah, it seems a little counterintuitive because you're pumping fuel into the rocket, or pumping oxidizer into the rocket just to vent it off. The fuel is actually methane. That's also in liquid form, but the methane they don't vent off. You can't vent off methane. You either have to burn it off with a flare stack, or you have to recondense it. They used to burn it off. They used to have a flare stack, but they got rid of that after SN4, and now they have a recondenser. Basically takes the gaseous methane, recondenses it back into liquid form.
Yeah.
Zachary Aubert says the NASA 927 is refueling. That's good news. That's great news. That means we could potentially have them taking off soon. Let's take a couple other questions.
Ja. Så fik vi...
What time is the...
Så fik vi talt om, hvad tid er det? What time does the launch window close? We don't know. Jo, we know that. At 10 o'clock. Nej, 23. Og der er 2 timer til. Jeg har nogle andre billeder her. Så om 2 timer skal vi lige høre. Jeg er her stadigvæk. Ej, YouTube, Facebook. Det venter ikke med seere. Hvad er jeres spørgsmål? Det vælter ind. Ja. Ja. Sådan, det vælter ind med folk, der kigger. Ja. I never forget me. Vi er her i Boca Chica, og det er ved launchsiden. Jeg synes bare, vi er langt fra. Men det er måske også bedre end det, vi har på NSF Boca Chica på Maryland. Så, men vi venter på, at that's it, test line 2 by. Ja, han går over og ser noget andet. Og det kan vi jo også gøre. Det her kan jeg faktisk bedre lide. Har ikke noget lyd på, det er okay. Vi har ingen tid, vi havde det før. Live status. Påfyldningen er ved at ske. Så vi hører, så var det ilt. Og så må det være væsken, metan, det er jo gas.
And that's usually not the case out here. You know, the winters are pretty wet over here.
Yeah, it is pretty much the wet season. It's kind of a tropical zone, really, or almost like subtropics, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're subtropics. We're not really in the tropical zone, but just subtropics, almost there. I think we're at latitude 26, I believe.
Thank you so much, Lab. We'll jump back to
Yeah.
questions now.
Alrighty.
Klokkeslot, det var jo det, vi sagde.
Next question is from Manly 1979. They ask,
Nej, det var...
does that church still do free breakfast during spring break on the island? I think that's another question for
Lab, come back.
I'm right here. Let's repeat that question again. I'm sorry.
They ask, does that church still do free breakfast during spring break on the island?
Indeed, they do. This year, we didn't really have a spring break. Spring break kicked off, and within a week, we had the COVID breakout and all the lockdowns here in Texas, and everybody had to scatter. So it was a really sad spring break. But yes, they do still do the free breakfast there at the Baptist Church. It's a really cool thing they do.
Ja, vi hører lidt af hvert. Det var anden, vi hører så. Ham er ligesom døde.
So that one of the Twitter pilots actually retweeted it. Did say he said earlier that they were about to take off, but it sounds like he might have tweeted out again while we were live here that they have a maintenance problem. So that would explain why we don't have the WD-57. But it looks like they're going to proceed without it, which is interesting. Kind of wonder, like, what are they going to do for observations? How critical was that observation? So Jeff wants to know what's the delay at Kerbal, or the delay, not the delay at Kerbal. That was two questions back to back. What's the delay for? Tim wants to know why I'm so bad at Kerbal. Because I like blowing things up. I feel like that's more fun. Jeff wants to know what's the delay for. This is not a. This is important. This will be important to say as we get a little bit closer. This is not a delay. This is a test. This is an internal test campaign here. So SpaceX is under no obligation to set a launch time. They get a launch window, and they launch whenever they feel like it, whenever it makes sense for them. So it's not really. We can't say it's a delay. Like, we don't even know. They could have woke up this morning and said, "We're going to launch it at 4 o'clock Eastern time today," or 3 o'clock Central time. This could have been the plan the whole time. We don't know. But we're here on the outside trying to guess what the launch time is based on all these clues. Like I said, we're playing space detective here. We're looking at clues on all these different pieces and puzzle pieces coming together to try to determine when the launch time would be. So that's all. That's it's not really a delay. It's just like we're making educated guesses as what the launch time is. We just don't have the information. All right, let's see. So we might have a SpaceX stream here, an official one, soon. This one here is from NASASpaceflight.com. They're pretty awesome. They got some cameras down there. There's links in the description below if you want to go check them out. Launch time. Daniel says the launch time is going to be at 4:20. A lot of people was saying that yesterday. Why do they always delay these launches? Again, it's not a delay. We don't know. This could have been the set time this morning when they woke up. We have no idea. Nomadic said that Tony Casey, that's the... Oh, they're live. Oh, hello. They're going. Oh, here we go. We're 6 minutes away. All right. Here it is. Here it is. Turn the volume down. Wait a minute. I got to turn off. Hold on. I got to get you some volume. Where's NASA Spaceflight? Pause that. Back to these guys. Oh, and we got to go to this one. No, not that one. This one. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Here we are. Now we're talking 6 minutes away.
6 minutes away. Yeah.
All right. So what we're expecting here, flight up to 12.5 kilometers. Apogee. It's going to fly to 12 kilometers. Apogee. It's going to belly flop. You get activation of the flapper guys. Flapper guys are going to control it aerodynamically on the way down. And then the big flip maneuver at the end. That's the part that I'm like, come on, is that really going to happen? That'll be crazy. There's our 3 Raptor engines inside the skirt, so they're tucked up underneath here. I don't have engines on my model, but they're tucked up underneath there. You can see the landing legs. Landing legs are right here. There's a landing leg. 3 Raptor engines. There's one landing leg right there. It's really the only one we can see. Oh, there's another one down here below the countdown timer. That's really all we can see. Now, there's not going to be any commentary from SpaceX, so that's not surprising. We're not going to hear them at all. Let me get you, make sure our volume is as high as it'll go. Yep, okay, perfect. Oh, this is not, oh, we got to sync up our flight club. Where's flight club?
5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes. All right, we're like 40 seconds.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Let's see, I'm trying to sync up my flight club so it starts at the right time. Okay, I think I got it. There we go. So flight club is ready to go. Again, so this is the simulated telemetry right here. I'm not expecting any telemetry from SpaceX. This is simulated here. It's an educated guess on what's going to happen for altitude, speed, throttle, all that kind of stuff. You'll see the fuel right here, about how much fuel is on board. So, yeah, and you can actually see, you can kind of see that frost ring is pretty small. But you can see a little bit of discoloration from the rocket, probably because it's getting colder, but not quite as cold as where that frost ring is.
Now, friends, it's gonna go. Yeah, somebody do that better.
So looks like we're coming close again. Oh, your stream is behind. Yeah, my stream is always behind, guys. I have to get the stream first, and then I can feed it to you. Like, there's no middleman if you're watching SpaceX directly. So that's just the way it is when you're re-streaming here.
Ja. 3,5 minut.
Oh, here, all right.
Og det hele chili.
3.5 minutes. Now, another important note. This does not have to land to be a successful test. There's only a 1 in 3 chance that this even lands. If it does not land, that does not mean it's a failure. The measure of success today is, can they learn something about this vehicle that they didn't know before the test? Like, yeah, if it lands, will that be awesome? Sure. If it crashes and does something crazy, like, that'll be pretty awesome too, and could actually still be a success because they might learn something about the vehicle that they didn't know before the actual launch. So, all right, this is the point. I'm going to make my quick sales pitch here. Number one, you should share this with your friends because this is history. This is spaceflight history. Share it. Tell people to watch. This is a vehicle that's going to take people to the moon and Mars. Sales pitch is, I would tell you, consider joining our Discord, which is free. You can chat with some of our space community in between. And if you want to take the extra step, help support the channel because you like this kind of stuff, you like interacting, you want to become part of our inner circle, consider becoming a YouTube channel member or a Patreon member.
I am a YouTube.
And you can help support the channel. It all goes right back into it. We're a couple of super chats too.
Hold on countdown.
Alright. Damn it,
Come
hold.
We gotta hold.
What do you mean go?
There's our venting on the hold.
Og 2 minutter og 6 sekunder. Så vi hører, om I kan komme igen. Så trykket af den.
Well.
Hold.
We don't know what the reason for this hold was.
Det går vi aldrig.
Now that big vent that you're seeing there, that's normal. That's normal abort procedures. So that vent is not the problem. The problem is there's some sort of other problem. That vent is not the problem. That's the normal depressurization vent. Trying to depressurize the tanks. The big question now, though, is will they try again? There's still 2 hours left in the window. So we don't know if this is a hold or an abort. Now, because they depressurized, they'd likely have to back the count up and try again. So I don't expect it to continue counting at this point. Like, they would have to reset the countdown clock. So we don't know if it's a hold or an abort. There's 2 hours left in the window. Even if they start over from scratch, it takes them about an hour. But they would still have to. They got to depressurize. Like, are they gonna drain the tanks? There's not a ton to drain there, but so I don't think they would really have to drain the tanks.
No, don't have to.
So hold on to your seats here.
Yeah. Before the video lit.
Because we just don't know.
Oh, we don't know. It's not a boat. It's not a boat. It's just a hood.
We're gonna have to. Flight Club started up. We don't want that. That would have been what our expected launch time was.
2 minutes to go. Men vi må nok tage...
All right. Well, now we have to find out if there's going to be any. Sometimes they'll put some text along the bottom of the screen to say what they have. Again, this is an internal company test, so we don't know. Is it a hold or is it a scrub? It's not a ton of time left in the window, but there is a little bit.
Okay, because that makes...
I should put. Let me put the hold message up here so that anybody that's joining late won't be too confused. So put this message up. Actually, I'll go here. Oh, not a replay. I always forget to turn that off. So we're in a hold right now, and we don't know what's happening. Your guess is as good as mine. The big vent is stopped. Yep, so it would be depressurized at this point. The question will be, will they try again? Can they recycle? Sometimes they can recycle within about half an hour to 40 minutes. Could be later. The big question is, like, what was the problem? So the fact that they have 2 hours left in today's window is good news, because they could still try again.
They are...
The question is, will they try again, though? That we don't know.
Well, we don't know.
Will they try again tomorrow? There is another launch window tomorrow,
Yes.
but let's not get ahead of ourselves. They might try again today. We don't know.
And we have 2 hours. 2 timer nu. Så ventilerer det ud.
Oh, clock pause. Stand by for new T0. That's good news. Right, let me get out of the way. Standing by for new T0. That's good news that we're at a hold and not a scrub. So that's good news. That's better news than yesterday. Standing by for a new T0. That's not standing down for today. That's standing by for new T0. So we could be okay. Stand by. Stay with us.
Stand by.
We might have a launch.
Okay, stand by. YouTube.
And the really good news is, now that they've started the live stream, I don't expect them to end it. So maybe we'll get these views
Of course not.
for a good while, which is really exciting. It's really what I want. I want to see that. I see the up close views here.
All what I want is another baby. Oh.
All right.
All what we want is another baby. Oh.
What is the tank? What is the tank venting? That's liquid oxygen, so it's super cold. It's got a vent so that when it warms up and boils off, it doesn't overpressurize the tank. So as it's like negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit. As it's pumped into the tank, it starts to warm up because it's coming into contact with the warm tank. 70-degree Fahrenheit weather there. Somebody would have to help me out with metric conversions. I can't do that off the top of my head on the fly. But they, as they pump it in, the liquid oxygen into the tank, it starts to warm up. When it warms up, it turns back into gaseous form. When it goes back to gaseous form, it expands. It takes up more volume. That can cause higher pressure, overpressurization, could cause a big boom. So to avoid that, they have to vent some of it out as it starts to warm up and boil off.
That's right.
All right, let me get to a couple. There were a couple super chats and stuff that I was just about to say that I've missed a bunch of them here. So I saw them. Let's see. Stan's a monster. Stan sent me another super chat, a super sticker. Thank you, Stan. Stan Islas Rebool. I'm probably butchering your name. I'm sorry, but thank you very much for your support. Star Andrea 22 sent a super sticker. Thank you, Star Andrea. Appreciate your support there. Andy Palmer. Can't read. Hold on, I gotta expand this because I can't read the whole message here.
Måske bliver det 6
Here, I'll just
minutter,
bring it over
måske
here.
bliver det 20 minutter.
Andy Palmer said you've got a voice to do film and TV voiceover stuff. That's why I started watching your channel. Thanks for the effort for all you do for us. So thank you, Andy. I appreciate the kind words. I don't know if I agree with you, but it sounds very kind. Thank you very much. It's probably just audio magic with my microphone and my stuff here that I have. It's audio magic, but thank you for the kind words. Stan again. Man, thank you very much. Stanislas Ribul. I should learn how to say your name for the number of super chats you've sent in. Thank you very much. Said Mars 2025. That seems really optimistic to me. I don't know if I don't think we're going to get to Mars. I don't know. Elon thinks we're going to. But that seems super optimistic. I'm thinking like maybe by the end of the decade we might get people to Mars, like 2030s, maybe. Like that seems a little more likely. I don't know. I guess I wouldn't put it past Elon. I mean, look what they've put together here in just a few.
Okay, what has happened here is we are on standby.
Getting mission control audio. Frederic Lundstrom, one of our regulars. Thanks very much for the super sticker. Appreciate it. Helmet, another one of our regulars. Thanks very much for the super stickers. 2 of them. Thank you, Helmet. Really appreciate that. Johan Rudolph sent a super sticker as well. Thank you very much for the support. Let's see if we can run through a couple of our supporters here. Hasten Mela became a new channel member. Thank you very much. RJ Rees, super sticker. Ben Archer, super sticker. Scott Parker, thanks for the super chats. And photographer Luke. Holy smokes, photographer Luke. That's too generous. Thank you very much, photographer Luke. That's so generous. Like thank you very much. I don't know what to say. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That is very, very generous of you. Photographer Luke. I'm trying to be a photographer myself. You're probably way, way better than I am. But I dabble. I got the new R5. That's what we're filming on today, the Canon R5. Super pumped about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Luke Evans, new channel member, and Mirik Cern, new channel member. Thanks very much.
Oh.
If you're channel members, be sure to join our Discord. Well, even if you're not channel members, be sure to join the Discord because it's free. But if you're channel members and part of the Discord, and you link your accounts together, you get access to the secret Discord channels. That's where we were talking all day today.
Oh, yeah.
Getting ready for this here.
We venter stadig på en ny.
Another super chat. I can't read your name there, but it says, come on X. Come on SpaceX. Thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate that. Yeah, we're standing by here now. And we'll show a couple things. We're gonna go through some simulations here and show you what we're waiting on, but I don't necessarily want to leave this rocket view. I love this view here now. I'm really excited that we have this view.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. New T0. Yeah, we don't know the new T0. It does not mean scrub. This means stand by. It means wait. Hold on to your pants. We're going to have something soon. We don't have any info yet. Just says stand by. Everybody's got to be patient.
Be patient.
Let's see. Check on the plane. Well, the plane had a maintenance issue. And was grounded, but is it ungrounded? No, it's still grounded. So I'm not expecting to see the plane today, which is surprising, actually. I mean, I completely changed my mind. Earlier today, I was like, no, they're gonna wait for the plane. Like, they gotta get the observations in. Like, they gotta wait for that, but apparently not. Apparently they're not gonna wait for it. So there. I guess we're gonna stand by for the new T0. Well, I would expect. Here's my expectations for a new T0. So they were, we scrubbed about 15 minutes ago or so. I would expect it would take them about 30 minutes to recycle. And then maybe reset the clock to 15 minutes. Right? So we're probably still at least a half an hour from launch, if not 45 minutes. Maybe. Somebody said, oh, Nomadic. Nomadic says a Cessna 172 busted the TFR while flying VFR. Don't leave the cam. We'll resume shortly. WB-57 is grounded. A Cessna 172 busted the TFR? Come on. So that essentially means Nomadic's been pretty reliable source. So I trust what he's saying here. We can even look at, I don't know if I'll have that on flight radar. He says a Cessna violated the TFR. The TFR stands for Temporary Flight Restriction, which is basically the FAA's way of saying, like, you're not allowed to fly here. And as a pilot, you're supposed to be familiar with those before you take off.
Well, morning.
So it sounds like we can even, let's see. I'm trying to pull it up here now. I don't, because, oh, it does look like, I see it on the map. I can see it on the map. Oh, my goodness.
Huh.
He's going to get shamed on the map. Sorry, man. But let me back it up. Before we shame, because I can't hide his, maybe I can hide his call sign.
Come on, man. There's somebody
Give me
have
one
a
second to set this
violin.
up. I'll show you
Der er nogen, der har
the
været inde i
Cessna.
luftrummet. Efter jeg er forladt det.
That does look like a very probable scenario there.
Ja, det havde vi også sidste gang.
Where is, can I hide the call sign? How do I hide the call sign?
Nej, du skal da, mand. Kæft.
Do I really care? Let's see, hide call sign, miscellaneous. No, map. There you go, call sign. No, we want altitude and speed. There we go, we'll switch
Nej,
to
det er
that.
ikke skyvektor, det er 24.
Okay, 2100. Let's set it back to like 2145. All right. So now I'll give you an idea of what I'm looking at.
Yeah, we have it.
So here's a flight radar 24.
Huh.
And people are saying they've already spammed his call sign. Well, I tried to be the nice guy and not spam his call sign, but I mean, if you're not going to pay attention to the TFR, stuff like that's going to happen. So this is here's the clock down here. We're at 20:52, which is about we're like 7 minutes. He popped up here. I saw him on there. He was right in this region. Oh, right there. There it is.
What?
Took off from
Yeah.
Brownsville, heading north.
Oh my God.
You can see it right there. I mean, small plane, probably flying VFR. Flight level 15, so these are like 2,000 feet. I mean, it doesn't matter because the TFR is surface to unlimited. So, right there. Now, where does the TFR extend to? Here's the TFR. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, yep. He's
We can see it. It's terrible.
I mean, if he busted the TFR, it was not by much, unless.
Ja. Kommer en til.
Unless it's when he makes this turn right here. He just creeped in just a tiny bit.
Der er to, man.
I don't know if you can see that. It's this guy right here. Just in case you can't see where my mouse cursor is. I wonder if he took off with the intention of viewing the launch. Because look at, he's heading this direction.
Maybe it's crazy.
I mean, it's not like he flew over the launch site, but I mean, you violate the TFR, they don't take that too kindly. So, it only takes a little bit to violate the TFR there.
You like mine?
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
so
so
that sounds very plausible. I'm going to go with Nomadic's our source on there. But, and obviously you've got the plane right there. He's right on the edge, but it's very plausible that he busted the TFR and they had to call a hold because there was a wayward plane in the restricted flight area. But that's okay. We got lots of time. Sounds like we're standing by for a new T0.
Yeah.
So stand by. We're not going to completely bail on it yet. We're okay so far.
Lad os prøve at gå et andet sted hen. Så gå ind i SpaceX. Minutter.
Let's see. Could somebody wants to know if the Delta airline flight played a part? Those are going to be the Delta Airlines flights. I mean, those are going to be in constant control with air traffic control. So I would be like, I don't think we have to worry about a Delta Airlines flight. It's usually a small plane that's flying VFR, like a Cessna or something like that. Those are the ones that typically would violate a TFR because they're, if you're flying VFR, like you can kind of play with your. I'm not a pilot. I don't even want to speculate, but those are the ones that usually bust the TFR. Is when you're flying VFR. A lot of acronyms there. TFR, temporary flight restriction. VFR, visual flight rules. Right? Somebody that's a pilot can confirm that.
Yes. Confirm.
Are we still having launch? Maybe. We don't know for sure. Yeah, a couple people throwing his call sign in the chat. I don't want to do that. I mean, yeah, he made a oops. What is a T0? T0 just T stands for time. 0 is basically launch. So this is saying T minus 0, meaning you have 0 seconds to launch. So T is time, 0 is how much time to launch. So we're standing by for a new T0, basically meaning we're standing by for a new launch time. That's what we're waiting for.
Yeah.
Do they have to refuel? Yes, they will have to refuel the rocket. Looks like they defuel. Yeah, while they depressurized, you can still see there's still a frost ring, which is right here. There's a frost ring right there that you can see. That would be the liquid oxygen there. So there may still be some liquid oxygen in there. Could also still be super cold if they would have drained it, but this sounds like it's a hold and not a scrub. So we could have another attempt. We've still got an hour and 40 minutes in the launch window today. They only need about maybe 20 to 40 minutes to fuel the rocket, depending on how much fuel they might have taken out. So the launch got held because of a dude flying a plane. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like we have a plane that violated the TFR. Oh, there we go. Tentative T0 now 4:40 p.m. Central Standard Time. Oh, that's a while from now. That's an hour and 20. That's 5:40 p.m. Eastern Time. That's an hour and 20 minutes from now. Okay, so that's a long delay. That's much longer than I thought. That's going to be at the end of the window. Let me update. So now they're counting down to here, and we'll update our clock. So now we're an hour and 17 minutes away from launch. So, we got some time. Will the man get arrested or lose his license? I'm not a pilot, so I don't 100% know for sure. I don't think he's not going to get arrested. And I don't think he's going to lose his license over it. He's probably, when he lands, he's probably going to get the report from air traffic control like, when you get a moment, I have a number for you to copy down because you need to call FSDO, which is the Flight Standards District Office. So he's probably going to have to call FSDO, and there'll be a report. And I don't know what happens after that. You get I don't know. I don't know what happens when pilots have to call FSDO, but from what I've heard, any pilots in the chat can tell me, is it's not a good day when you have to call FSDO. I don't know, maybe he gets fined or something like that. I have no idea, but I don't think he's going to lose his license over busting the TFR or get arrested, but he might get fined. Nomadic says he's getting the fine and the check ride. That's going to be one of the most expensive mistakes he's ever made. He's already gotten the dreaded number. All right, so Nomadic said he already got the call over air traffic control. I mean, that's what happened. That's like the worst thing that you want to hear if you're a pilot is when they say, when you have a moment, I have a number for you to copy down for possible pilot deviation or. So that's it's a bad day when you're a pilot. So it sounds like he's already got the phone number. He already got the readout. Did you, Nomadic? Did you hear that on ATC? Does somebody? Is there anybody in our Discord that can clip the air traffic control for that and send me an audio link? Because I'll play it. I'll play the audio link.
Oh,
if somebody's listened to ATC live. Let me see. Look at a couple other messages here. Then I saw a bunch of super chats. I want to grab those too as well. Oh, my buddy Chad Colby, he might be on. I saw Anita tag Chad in our Patreon hangout. Chad's a pilot. He might know. I don't know. Nomadic might be a pilot too. I don't know if Nomadic's a pilot, but he seems pretty reliable.
Yeah.
All right, let me grab a couple of these super chats here so I don't forget about them, and acknowledge some of our awesome supporters. Let's see, where do we ended with photographer Luke. Still can't believe that, photographer Luke. Thank you very much. Luke Evans became a new channel member. Merrick Stern, I think I mentioned those already. I have no idea how to say that. Thank you very much for the super chat. Duke Swires, thanks for the super sticker. Scott Parker sent a super sticker. Thank you very much, Scott. Star Andrea, another super sticker. Thank you very much, Star Andrea. From one of our Russian friends that I can't pronounce the name, but says from Russia with love. Thank you very much. Wish I could pronounce your name, but thanks for your support. Appreciate that. Arnaud says, hello, thanks for all your explanations. When do you think we'll see the first super heavy tests? A French viewer. Well, hello, vive la France. A super heavy, I think we're still talking a couple months out for super heavy, but I'm hopeful. It looks like they're starting to build super heavy. There are some pieces that have been on site for super heavy. So I think we may see super heavy in the coming months. So I don't think we're too far off. I mean, I think SN9 for this is coming up pretty quickly, and then that'll turn around after this flight, hopefully pretty quickly. So they're really trying to perfect this platform, and then they're going to move on to super heavy. When are we going to see? When are we going to see a flight? I don't know. I don't know. I'm thinking. I don't know. We might see some like static fires later next year. I don't know when we'll see a flight. Let's see. Nomadic says I'm in Boca Chica listening to everything live. I'm a pilot and an electrical engineer in the industry. All right, perfect, Nomadic. Well, you're my guy then, or gal. I don't know why I just assumed guy, but I'm going with what you're going to be my reliable source from now on. There you go. Nomadic's a pilot and an electrical engineer in the industry. He's the one that broke that to us about the pilot that busted the TFR. Let's see, what else do we get? Father Patrice, Go Power Rangers. All right. Used to watch Power Rangers when I was a kid. Loved Power Rangers. Anybody else watch Power Rangers? Used to love Power Rangers. Question is, which Ranger were you? I don't know. I always liked, what was I? I liked a Green Ranger. I was Team Green Ranger. Anybody else? Anybody with me? Or is it just me? Edward Ondrick. Love the content, sir. Have you seen a launch in person? Yes, not Starship, but I've seen a few launches in person. I've seen an Atlas V, powerful Atlas V, an Atlas V 551 with 5 solid rocket boosters. That's pretty cool because those solid rocket boosters look like super metallic-y. and it doesn't do it justice watching it on a screen. But the 551 looked like a bright sparkler firework, like the brightest sparkler you've ever seen. Also seen I've seen a few Falcon 9s launch, one land, one RTLS landing, one drone ship landing. So yes, and I want to get back. I probably would have gone to Boca Chica if it wasn't for the whole pandemic situation. So we'll do more in the future. Sarah Martin, thanks for the super sticker. Hillary Amai. I don't know how to say your last name, Hillary, but I recognize Hillary. Hillary's always been a regular on the channel. Became a channel member today. Thanks, Hillary. Appreciate your support. Axel Goldstein. I love Luana forever. To Mars and back. Thanks, Axel. Appreciate your support. Lucas Teller. Greetings from Slovenia. We got viewers from all over the world here today. Greetings, Slovenia. Thanks for your support, Lucas. All right, let's get back to it. I'll show you my animation here too while we're kind of waiting. But we don't get this view very often from SpaceX directly, so I was kind of hanging out, waiting here in this view. But Zack Attack over one of our Patreons said he tried to get the ATC, but the live feed doesn't have a recording available. Maybe he'll find it later. If he does, he'll share it. Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess maybe there's no recording yet. There might be a recording. Usually the recordings start every half hour on live ATC, so there might be a recording that comes out in a few minutes from now. You'd have the recording that went from the top of the hour to the bottom of the hour there. TP Seekers looking forward to our weather balloon launches. Yeah, hopefully we can get back to those next year. We kind of put those on hold because of the whole pandemic situation. Let's see. When is this thing gonna fly? So we've got a delay here. This is a proper delay, all right? This one you can finally say it was delayed. You know, the other ones during the day when people are like, why is it delayed? It wasn't delayed. What was that? I don't know what that was. So so earlier today that it wasn't delayed, but this is a proper delay. It sounds like we've got a plane that busted the TFR, the temporary flight restriction, which is basically the keep out zone, like you're not allowed to fly in there. And when I say a plane busted it, it means a plane flew in the area that you're not allowed to fly in. So that's a problem. So they had to hold the count, especially being 2 minutes away from launch. Like if you bust the TFR 2 minutes from launch, you can't, there's very little time to check to see if things are going to be okay. And now because the rocket uses these super cold, super densified fuels, the methane, liquid oxygen, they have to be very, very cold. They have to be a certain temperature so that you know that you have enough density of fuel in the rocket. If you don't launch on your planned launch time, we can recycle the count, but if you have to wait any more than a few seconds or so, then you gotta reset or recycles, and that's what they're in the process of doing right now. Is they're basically resetting everything. They're going to refuel the rocket. They're going to start over again, and so we're about an hour away from that now. Now targeting 4:40 p.m. Central Time, 22:40 UTC here, which is just over an hour from now, an hour and 7 minutes from now. Let me see. Heather Clinton, thanks for the super sticker. Really appreciate that. Mike. Guess what day it is? That's all I can think about. You guys seen that commercial? Hump day. Mike. I don't know why that one just got me. But Mike, thanks for the super sticker. Guess what day it is? And it is hump day too, isn't it? Isn't that perfect? I didn't even think about that. I forgot what day it is. Guess what day it is? Mike. All right, move on. Justin Adams says that based on the track from ADSB, the aircraft did not enter the TFR. So I know it was very close, but I'm going to go with Nomadic on this because he said he was listening to ATC and he heard them give the number to the pilot. We're working on We're working on trying to get an ATC recording on it, but that's the latest news. And Nomadic is disputing you, Justin. He says it 100% did. Nomadic's pretty reliable. Yep, 5:40. Christine says, according to the time listed, 5:40 Eastern time. Yep, it's 4:40 Central time, 5:40 Eastern time. So it's just over an hour from now is when we're targeting now. Big arguments going on in the chat. People saying debating on whether the plane actually violated it or not. Do you work for SpaceX? No, I do not. What was the tail number? I'm not going to give out the tail number, but I'm sure you could find it. There's ways you can find it. Check your mic. There's a fan blowing. That's not me. That's the SpaceX stream. We're listening to the wind so that you can hear all the venting and what's happening on the launch pad. That's not. That's on SpaceX side because I can kill SpaceX. And then you hear nothing. There you go. Let's see what else. Let's see what else we got here. Rob Dufresne says if he ignored pre-flight TFR, he failed IR. If he ignored pre-flight TFR, he failed IR. He intentionally violated the TFR. There's a lot of acronyms in there, Rob. 100K fine, he says, though. Is that for real? Would that be a $100,000 fine? Like, that seems huge. I mean, I don't doubt that he's going to be fined, but that would be a big fine. Rob says it's a 100K fine. Well, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate that. But yeah, he's basically saying that if he ignored the pre-flight TFR, that'd be kind of crazy. Oh, a couple people I saw. DMND leader said, "Do you remember the letters we saw yesterday? I believe it was the reflection of the lens." I kind of agree with you. I thought about that more. I saw some of the chatter on Twitter and on our Discord, and I think the reflection that we saw. We're not seeing it right now, but I think the reflection that we saw in the letters that were in the sky looked like skywriting or something like that. We were kind of speculating like maybe it was some sort of watermark to prevent leaks or something like that. The latest thought now is that text was just a simple reflection. So the camera's probably in some sort of like box, has some sort of like glass front to it to view through, so it's not completely exposed. So it could have just been the writing from the lens. Do I have a lens? Try not to drop it. But it could have just been the... Let me switch this over so you can see what I'm talking about. It could have just been the writing. Will this show? It might chroma key out. Let me put it in front of my face so it tries to focus on there. There you go. See the writing on the lens, the Canon lens there? So this, it could have just been the writing from the camera that was reflecting off whatever glass cover was in front of the camera there. So I think that's the latest theory. I think that's I'm kind of on board with that. That seems pretty reliable. Let me put this away. Put that away before I break my lenses. All right. So, Alan over on Twitch says the pilot's going to need a GoFundMe page. I don't know if you get a lot of supporters, especially given the number of people that were excited about the SN8 launch. You might have a tough time finding GoFundMe supporters for that one. How do you know so much about space stuff? I'm just a big fan. I follow this stuff. I pay attention. I look into all this stuff, and I've been doing it for a long time. So I'm just a giant kid in a grown man's body. And I just love this stuff. I love it all. Fabrizio says the pilot will be fined and the amount should go to Overlook Horizon. Yeah, I don't think that'll be the case. Sam Grassi talking about there's something called Notice to Airmen's, the NOTAMs. If he did not read that, he will lose his license and will be arrested for questioning. That seems, I mean, it seems a little bit, that seems a little drastic. I mean, I'm sure when you get into the investigations, like, and they're gonna ask you like, well, did you read the NOTAMs? And most of the time when people bust a TFR, usually they're just like distracted or they're not paying attention or they're just a little too close. And it did look like, if we go back and we look at the flight map, like he was very close. Let's go back to the playback here. We'll go to 2050. We'll start our playback. So he takes off. Actually, let's go a little bit further than that. It's like 2055. So we believe it's this plane right here, this Cessna. Let me give you my cursor right here in this region. We can't really, can we zoom in and see it? Oh yeah, we could zoom in. So the TFR is going to be like here-ish. It's very close. Like he's on the edge here. It's this guy right here. I believe that's the one. He's very close, and the question is like, where did he bust the TFR? Like, did he cut the corner here and go through the TFR? Is he a little too far in? Like, where is it? Where is that western border of the TFR? And I don't know. I mean, the NOTAM, if we look at Sky Vector, like the NOTAM, here's the TFR. Now, Sky Vector is kind of tough to see, but a lot of pilots are going to have some sort of GPS system on board. You know, the NOTAM text is going to show exactly the coordinates that they have to stay out of. So if we, can I zoom in on this? Here, we'll zoom in to try to make that somewhat readable. So this is the text of the TFR, and I'll read this to you and try to decode the pilot speak here. So this says, this is basically the NOTAM number that comes up front. Then it says ZHU, which is Houston Air Traffic, Houston Airspace. It's an airspace NOTAM, and this is a NOTAM about a temporary flight restriction with an area defined as, and then it lists all the coordinates that you basically have to stay out. So it's basically drawing a box for you. It's putting the points on the map to say, like, here's the points on the map, and connect the dots. That's the area you have to stay out of. And I don't know, I'm sure Nomadic or some of the pilots that are watching can kind of explain exactly how this gets into, like, sometimes they have onboard GPS systems. Maybe they even just automatically update. I don't know if you have to plug this in or what you have to do, but you know, generally you're going to have some sort of onboard GPS system. Or sometimes they have like iPads that they'll fly with, so you can see where you are in relation to this. So anyway, so there's your boundary. The TFR is valid from surface to unlimited, which basically means from ground level all the way to where they stop tracking air traffic. So that's usually like 60,000 feet in altitude. So the TFR is good from surface to unlimited. And the reason for the TFR was to provide a safe environment for rocket launch and recovery pursuant to 14 CFR section blah, 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 blah. Then it says aircraft operations are prohibited in this airspace unless authorized by air traffic control. And then it gives the responsible party, Houston Air Traffic Control, telephone number, blah, blah, blah. So that's the NOTAM that was issued for this TFR, or temporary flight restriction. And that's what we believe was violated by our friendly Cessna. Watch it again. One more time. Here he is coming out of Brownsville down here. It's so, I wish I could blow up the icon of the plane. Nomadic says, despite debate as far as Texas ANG and ATC were concerned, he did bust the TFR, and they're the ones who count. Well, it's hard to argue with that. If air traffic control says that you busted the TFR, then that's when we have a problem. So there you go. And I just don't know where that actual line was. Plus, this ADSB here, like, you know, is it exactly, like, how accurate is this map going to show? We don't know. But There you go. I'm pretty sure that's the one we're talking about. Will they launch? All right, let's go back to... We'll go back to this view so people can find out what's happening. We're about 55 minutes from another attempt. Graham says... Graham says, I went to a Starship launch and ended up watching a small plane on radar. Where's my t-shirt? Yeah, that's how that goes. Jamie Dunn says they're going to have a controller yelling in their ears. Oh, I'm sure once they busted that TFR that somebody was talking to them. And it sounds like they already got the dreaded phone number from ATC. The TFR, the temporary flight restriction, is valid until, this person says 2330. It's 2300 is the TFR right here. 2300 is when it's valid too. Let's see. SpaceX confirmed it was because of a Cessna, says Arthur. Arthur, what's your source on that? I didn't see any confirmation, but of course I'm not looking at my phone. Did they tweet something out that I don't know about? I'm looking just to check, and we'll check and see. I don't see anything on my notifications yet. Jordan sent me a tweet and said, can you explain the venting? What are they venting? Why do they vent? Just more in-depth detail about venting, please. So the venting is the liquid oxygen. That is... Liquid oxygen is super cold in order to be in liquid form. When it's in liquid form, it's very dense. They want to put as much oxygen in the rocket as they can. So in order to do that, they have to densify it, liquefy it, make it super, super cold. And once they start pumping it into the rocket, it's going to start to warm up. And so when it warms up, turns back into gaseous form. When it goes back to gaseous form, it expands. That can cause high pressure in the oxygen tank, and it has to be vented off to avoid too much pressure. The methane tank would run into this similar sort of issue as well to a certain extent, but the methane, they actually recondense and bring back to liquid form because you can't vent off methane for environmental reasons. So if you wanted to get rid of the methane, you either have to burn it off with a flare or you have to recondense it back into liquid form, which SpaceX now has a recondenser to do that. They did not tweet anything yet. I didn't think they tweeted anything, but thanks for the confirmation there. I'll stop looking. Let's see. Let me grab a couple other super chats here. DRC Through became a channel member. Thanks very much for your support. Also, be sure to link your YouTube account to Discord and join our Discord because you get access to the behind-the-scenes stuff over on Discord where we do a little more chatting. That's where you get behind the scenes, some early access to 2 Minute Tuesday videos, all that kind of stuff. Let's see. What else we got? We got another super chat from Mike. I love that name. That one gets me every time. Mike. Guess what day it is? Says, greetings from the Netherlands. You're doing a great job. Mike put zero spaces in that text. He is a no space guy. That's 0 spaces in that text for Mike. Thanks for your support, Mike. Mikhail Boskov, big day. Best of luck to SpaceX. I'm hoping we get another attempt here. That would be fantastic. Frederick Lundstrom, thanks for the super chat. The FAA has the authority to issue orders assessing civil penalties up to $50,000 against individuals, according to the FAA webpage. That's a very high fine. I would be surprised if he was fined that much. I'm sure I would not be surprised if he's fined, but I would be surprised if he's fined $50,000. Darren Scourfield says, does the Cessna fly on or hang around? Hanging around means deliberately watching the launch. It looked like, I didn't watch long enough, but it kind of looked like he was hanging around, but Nomadic said that he was being directed back to Brownsville. So let's see. Let's speed this up a little bit. Double speed. Here's our guy. There he goes up to the top. Slow it down just a touch. So we believe this is our guy. He's heading up this way. Where does he go after he goes on? Heads up. He's continuing north. Was he there to watch the launch? Did he keep going? He just kept on going, it looks like. Oh, no, but now he's circling back around. Oh, and now he's gone. I don't know, it's so hard. Sometimes it's hard to fast forward and rewind here. I should zoom out. Yeah, it looks like... So I think this is our guy here. It looks like he's circling back, heading back to Brownsville. Map doesn't want to load here, but there he is. I'll leave this up for a second. Nomadic says he did not hear the tail number. To be clear, I have no idea what the tail number was. Yeah, so I guess we probably shouldn't completely rule out that this is our guy. He's the only one that's on flight radar. There is also the chance that it doesn't show up on flight radar. That's certainly possible, but that would be our latest suspect there. So we don't know for sure if that's the actual tail. Zach Attack says Brownsville ATC is offline on ATC Live for the last 18 days, so no archive or live audio. Who was the person that heard the ATC? Was it on Houston Center? Nomadic in the YouTube chat was the person that heard the call, so maybe Nomadic can answer that. Framrick, hey, one of our awesome moderators, says thanks for the awesome stream, Tori. As usual, Overlook Horizon rocks the lobster. The lobster's in charge around here. I'm just following his orders. A lot of people confused probably that are new to the channel that don't know what's the deal with the lobster. If you join our Discord, there's a pinned message in the Hangouts channel in Discord that'll explain all about the lobster, or you can type !lobster in the YouTube chat and it'll give you a link as well. There's a couple people oh, we got a lot of venting activity, sounds like.
Ja, tilbage. Så skal vi bare lige her. Hello YouTube. Hello Facebook. And hello
I'm gonna look at something here on my end just for a second.
Yeah, we have a...
Okay, this is what I was...
Yeah, static.
So I was looking for. Can I blow this up without...
45 minutter. Og vi har haft en pause
destroying the
på grund
pilot's
af
reputation?
en
No,
flyver,
I
der
can't.
fløj over. Igen.
I was gonna try to full screen something else, but I can't, and it's got the pilot's tail number and everything on there. I'm not gonna share that out.
What? No, have you vist det?
How long until the takeoff? There's a clock way up there in the top left corner. We're
Yeah.
47 minutes away.
Okay, det vil sige, ja, jeg er helt spændt.
Fabrizio says, Tori, tell us about your Italian roots. My family is from east of Naples in Italy. That's where my grandparents were from. La Provincia Potenza.
La Provincia Potenza.
Pretty sure that's it.
Molto bene.
How high is the rocket going? We're going at 12.5 kilometers, so this would be a good opportunity here since we got 46 minutes. Let's show an animation. We'll do a little Kerbal animation here for you. Let's get this up. We'll go to here.
Nu kommer en animation.
We want Nope, not that. I want this one. Oh, it's not scrubbed today. We also don't want that one. We could keep this one up. No. We want... Where's my SpaceX one?
Meget teknisk. Men nu får den ind, ja.
There it is. We'll put that up so we can see that. Tim says I'm still bad at Kerbal. You're right. I won't argue with you on that. No water landings today. No promises. Nomadic says that Boca Chica is part of the Brownsville sector FSS. Have you ever been there? I've passed through Naples on the way to Sorrento. I have not been to my family's hometown. I've been to Italy, just not that particular area. Alright, here we go. I know you're kidding, Tim. Tim keeps saying that I'm terrible at Kerbal. I know you're kidding. But you're really not. I mean, it's the truth. Okay, here's what's happening today. Let's see if we can do it, right? So we're waiting on Starship. Let's see, can we... Let me do this. Let me put this up so that we can see. We'll put that clock there, or the time there, so people can get a rough idea. And then let's try to simulate what's going to happen today. So here's our Starship in Kerbal Space Program and our launch pad here. Remember, Starship is just the second stage. There is a first stage called Super Heavy, and we're only working on the second stage here right now. So we're gonna get the launch. Let's see, can we do it? There we go. So we're gonna launch, and we're gonna go to an apogee, which is your peak altitude of about 12.5 kilometers. Right? Might get a slight... Let's get a little roll program in. Maybe a slight pitch over towards the sea. Let's see if I can actually hit 12.5 kilometers correctly this time. So here's 8.5. There's 9. I'm actually going to go just a little bit ahead because it'll come down. So there's 12, 12.5. I'm going to go to right there. 13.2. See what that does. Will we hit? Nope, we're going to come up short, but that's all right. It's going to be a 12 kilometer hop. So it's meant to be a 12.5 kilometer hop, but looks like we're going to slow down. So we're going to coast at this point. So we're coasting up to our apogee. 12 kilometers is what we're at here now. There it is. There's our apogee. At this point, we expect that it would go into this belly flop maneuver. Just like this. Activate our flapper machines, the ailerons. Not ailerons, ailerons. That's what we're calling them. So we're expecting it to pretty much go straight up. It'll be a little bit, it's going to have a little bit of a adjustment to do to come back to the launch pad. Expecting to see a lot of activity here with the flapper things. Let's see if we can land it. We're going to try not to go out to sea. In Kerbal Space Program, it makes these flaps have a ton of lift. So we're going to try not to go out to sea. See if I can push it back. I'm trying to pitch it up to stop use wind resistance to stop its momentum out towards the water there. There we go. There we go. Now we're coming back to land. Here we go, and then I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to use mech jeb to actually land it, just for demonstration purposes. Oh, now we got a lot of horizontal translation the other way. Let's pitch it back. This is very drastic. This is very drastic. This is not what SpaceX is going to do. We're trying to null our horizontal velocity just using aerodynamics. No engines yet. You can see our red spot here on the ground. That's our potential landing spot. And it really doesn't need to burn until pretty much the last minute. Oh, 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 well, we're losing control here. That's alright. And then we'll get landing. We'll gear out. Get a burn right at the last minute here. About 300 meters above the ground. Boom. Last minute burn. And then touchdown. Nice and gentle. Look at this. We landed it on the land this time, not in water.
Hey.
Boom. Even auto level it. Make sure it stays level. There.
That's
Hey,
good.
that was pretty good. How about that?
This time was good.
We landed it. So there's our rough simulation.
Because,
That's all we're expecting today. Just up, belly flop, landed. Just like that. Just a piece of cake. Maybe they do it a little smoother than I did it, but there we go. You should try to send it into orbit. We might send it into orbit. Oh, I see SpaceX has the clock counting again. Let me see. Let me see if theirs matches mine. 40. All right, so we're about. So it looks like they pushed it another 5 minutes. Let me update my clock. See if I can get theirs in sync with mine. Give me just a second. There, I think we got them in sync. So there. All right, so we got that in sync. That pretty much matches theirs. Now let me get Flight Club in sync. We'll see if we can... I'll keep an eye on that because Declan over at Flight Club, he might update that too. All right, let's grab a couple questions here while we're waiting on this candle, this puppy to fly. Light the candle, right? Where did my thing go? There it is.
Hvor vi også skal over til de andre, der er vi her. Samme sted, der er masser af folk inde. Hvor mange er vi inde? 42.000 seere. Det er meget fint. Værsgo, I ser det med alle sammen. Og status er, vi er ved at pressurize. I kan se, at vi har oxygen her, og den bliver luftet ud her. Den bliver nedkølet, og når den bliver nedkølet, bliver den i væske, og så bliver den sendt herover, herned, og så bliver den sendt her. Så noget er udvidet, så noget går i på grund af varmen. Så bliver det opvarmet, og så kommer den ud her. Det er her, så der er en ventilationsring. Og bagefter fylder man, hvad var det? Ammoniak? Ja. Metan. Det er faktisk benzin eller gas. Metan gas. Kul. Fylder man i ovenover og ilten herop. Men man er ikke begyndt påfyldning endnu. Vi kan prøve at høre, om der er lyd på. lidt lyd. Og det er det, der skal ske. Vi så bare, der var en illustration af, hvad der vil ske. Den skal 12,5 km op i luften. Så skal den stoppe, så skal den falde af sig selv under styring. Ind mod land igen, hvis den er kommet for langt ud. Så skal den styres ind mod land, så skal den vendes om til sidst, lige før den over touchdown. Så tændes motoren, 300 fod over, og bremser raketten ned, til den lander fladt på jorden, 3 km væk herfra. Og vi har været på pause her på grund af et flyver, der fløj over det ikke tilladte område. Et restriction. Et afmærket område, hvor flyveren ikke må være. Han blev kaldt op af ATC, og han skulle ringe til Houston. Og det har været på en millionbøde, eller i hvert fald par tusind, par 100.000 i bøde, og det er det. Vi er cirka 40 minutter fra opsendelse, og ved de 20 minutter begynder de at fylde den op, eller halv time. Fylder man tanken op i ildtanken, og bagefter, eller samtidig med, fylder man metantanken. Og når man skal starte, så sender man flydende ilt og den flydende metan ved hjælp af turbiner, som bliver drevet elektrisk, og så via turbinerne bliver metanen fyldt ned til motorerne, der bliver kølet af, for at kunne blive kolde, inden de bliver antændt. Og så kommer 3 sekunder før, der skulle de antændes. Og når de bliver antændt, så skal den stige op i 12,5 km. Så skal den stoppe motoren, raketten, og så skal den falde langsomt ned. Fall down, og så skal den sendes i en vandret position. Vandret. Vi har her raketten, så skal den sendes i en vandret. Og så skal den bare falde 10.000 fod ned. Og til allersidst 2.000 fods højde, så vil den blive sendt op her, og i 300 meters højde vil den raketten affyres, og raketten vil lande på jorden. Bum, håber vi, hvis alt går godt. 10 minutters flyvning, 20 minutter måske, nej, ikke engang. 12 minutters flyvning. Det er det, vi kan forvente. Vi er under... Vi er ved at gøre klar til at genopfylde tankene, efter at en flyver havde været for tæt på området, så vi måtte pause, sætte affyringen på pause, tømme tankene og fylde dem op igen. Nu håber vi bare, at de kan blive ventileret. Og det var det. Hvis I har nogle spørgsmål, må I godt sende dem ind. utallige tilskuere. Spørger, venter til pleje. Det gør den om 20 minutter. Nej, 30 minutter helt nøjagtigt. Vi kan lige prøve her. Hvornår ser det på launch? De siger ikke mere.
Off without it, so they're gonna start without it. Aren't you gonna leave a divot when you land and possibly fall over? Well, we know that the lunar variant of the Starship is gonna have thrusters that are more up here on top of the rocket, that are like landing thrusters. At least that's what they had showed in their animation, their animated graphic of the lunar Starship. So it would use these upper thrusters for landing that are up here towards the top of the rocket. We don't really have a Mars variant, so we don't know. But again, even there was a big concern with like the lunar landers, like would they create a huge divot, and they really didn't, because you don't need, if you're going to land on the moon, or even Mars for that matter, but especially if you're landing on the moon, it was a big concern on the moon, like would there be a divot, or sometimes conspiracy theorists are like, there was no divot, a rocket would create a divot. Remember, you're only 1/6 gravity. You don't need a ton of thrust to land the vehicle, right? So you don't have as much gravity you have to overcome. You don't have to fire the engines at 100% to land the rockets. You're going to need much less to actually do that landing. I mean, the reason you need so much thrust, especially at launch, is because, one, your rocket is fully fueled, so you're lifting a ton of fuel, and two, you're trying to get out of the Earth gravity well, so you need a lot more thrust at launch time here on Earth. What's the long-term plan with this part of the rocket? Well, so this is a prototype of the eventual production Starship. We're not at production yet. This is, a prototype. They're building quick versions, testing it, seeing if their process works, getting rid of it, moving on to, making some minor changes, trying again with another version. So it's a fast, iterative development method for SpaceX. So that's what they're going for. Oh, here you go. They've said that now they're targeting 445, which we pretty much already figured that one out ourselves. Funny how the classic rocket shape prevailed. Starship is and will be a great machine. Still hope for a glider in the future. Great channel. Best regards from Romania. Yeah, I mean, the whole rocket concept is kind of tried and true for a couple reasons, compared to like something like the space shuttle. Space shuttle was a great concept, and the problem ended up being that there's just so many complications for thermal protection system, for refurbishment, for I don't know. There were a bunch of things in there, but at the end of the day, like the capsule system was really nice for doing these ISS missions, which is why we have Crew Dragon again. We were going to see the Boeing Starliner someday, and then Starship is really going to take that to the next level because it's something that can be 100% reusable, and that'll be really exciting. Why doesn't the Starship have extendable landing legs or a gear? It does. Actually, if you can see our animation, they're at the bottom here. You can see, right here. Here they are in our animation, which is not perfect, but you can see they have them there. If you look in the actual... Here, let's see if we can back up their live stream, because they did oh no, that's going to screw up my countdown clock. I don't want to show it there. I can find it. Hold on. Let's see, what do I want to... I'll find it for you, hold on. But it does have landing legs. They're just tucked up inside, and they kind of flip out. So they're in... They're tucked up inside like the skirt area. Maybe we see it. Can we see it here in this view? Yeah, you can see it in this view. Let me... Give me a second. Okay, here we go. This is what I'm trying to show you right here. So this was this was the SN5 prototype. When it landed, you can see the landing legs popped out here at the bottom. Right here, bottom of the vehicle. So they're all around the inside. They're on like a pivot point, like a little hinge there, and they tuck up inside the bottom of the rocket in the skirt. So there's no engine sticking out of the bottom. The engines are stuck up inside the skirt here, along with the landing legs, which are on the inner wall. And when it comes time to land, they flip out, and then you have your landing gear. Now they have said that they're going to upgrade these and improve them. They're going to need like auto leveling when you land on the moon or Mars. Like you're not going to know what your terrain is going to be exactly, so you need some auto leveling. And so they've said that they're gonna beef these up and improve them. But right now they just kind of flip out and they land it. No word on if they have a crush core. And what I mean by a crush core is like your Falcon 9. When it lands, there is a crush core inside the landing leg mechanism there, so that when the first stage booster lands on the drone ship, if one side comes down harder than the other, there's this honeycomb crush core that can compress and crush, that's why it's called crush core, to take a little bit of that impact force off of the actual legs and the structural components of the legs themselves. So we don't know if it seems like these have a crush core, some sort of crush core in the actual legs themselves, but let's see. I think Zach Attack, one of our Patreons, just sent me. There you go. Zach sent me a picture of them retracted. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate that. That is super helpful. Let me open that so you can see that. So there's you can see if I get rid of this and take off the replay text. This is up on the inside of the Starship, and right here, this is one of those landing legs right there. Here's another one right there. So those are the landing legs tucked up underneath the skirt of the Starship, and they just kind of pivot out at this point right here. And you can kind of see how it's in two parts here. There's like a lower part, and that is like inside of this upper part here. That's where we kind of think maybe there's a little bit of a crush core or something. So they kind of flip out, and then it appears that maybe they have a little bit of tolerance to compress if one leg comes down hard. So that's the inside. So yes, they do have. It does have landing legs.
Huh? Why?
Can rockets be used to slow down a vehicle to eliminate the necessity of heat shields during re-entry, or would that be helpful? It would be helpful, and you can do that. The problem is, if you're going to do that, you need to bring a whole bunch of fuel to do that. It takes a lot of energy to slow yourself down that much, and it's just not the most efficient way to do it when the Earth and the atmosphere will do that slowing down for you. You don't have to bring fuel for that. So that's one of the big problems of like the second stage of the Falcon 9. So the second stage, when it goes up, it doesn't have enough fuel left to slow itself down to do any sort of re-entry. The first stage, I get the big first stage out here. The first stage has a little bit of extra fuel. It'll do that entry burn, and then come in and then do a landing burn. But it does that entry burn to slow itself down so it doesn't break up in the atmosphere and experience too much heating. The second stage just doesn't have enough fuel left. If you have to add more fuel so it does, then your rocket doesn't have as much lift, can't get to the right orbits. It's this balancing act. So Starship is a little better balancing act, where they have the stainless steel that handles the heat a little bit better. It's going to be it's pretty strong, thin, very inexpensive to develop and manage. So that's kind of the trade-offs and the balance that they've taken with Starship. Let's see what else we've got.
Der er 33 minutter. 3 minutter til refueling.
Will there be more than one high altitude test performed? Likely. We don't really know for sure, but I'm sure there probably will be. But we don't know that for sure. What does a cargo bay look like? We haven't gotten that far yet. we just know it's going to be somewhere in the nose. Would be where people or anything like that would be, but we don't know where. We don't know what any of the actual cargo sections will look like, as far as like where astronauts will fit, or where, you know, which sections are going to be cargo. We don't know any of that kind of stuff.
Ja, 32 minutter, så er vi klar.
How much longer for launch? 32 minutes.
Står det
We're
op,
getting a little bit closer now. Can I buy those models? These are 3D printed, but if you join our Discord, I'll be happy to share the 3D printing, where I got the 3D print files from, and you can 3D print them if you have a 3D printer.
Ja, ja.
We got a 3D printing channel in our Discord.
I have paper and paper.
How do you get the Starship and KSP to belly flop without falling nose or tail first? Well, it's pretty much well, in KSP it's not the easiest thing to do, but in Kerbal, basically what you're, we gotta update this here again. I use the mod called Tundra Exploration, and you have to activate these little fin things here. We'll do the wiggle here. You got to activate these things and use the. I've practiced it a few times, but you got to activate the wings, the flapper mechanism, and that's how you can control yourself aerodynamically, which is what we expect SpaceX to do. That's right. That's why they have them on there.
That's right. So,
what is reacted with the liquid oxygen for the propellants? Well, it's not a. It's the fuel is methane, liquid methane that they're using. The Raptor engines are Methalox engines. So the fuel that they're using is methane, and liquid oxygen is the oxidizer. Oxygen, pretty easy. But yeah, that's methane and oxygen.
30 minutter tilbage. Okay? Og 19 sekunder.
Do you have information about the height, weight, and diameter? So the diameter is 9 meters in diameter. The Starship itself is 50 meters in height. Nomadic says, confirm that the WB-57 has been put to bed, 100% grounded. Posted, oh, dropped my ring. Posted the link in Discord. So that would be Tony's one of the crew members on the WB-57. Let me see. Let's see if we can pull this up here. Yep, so that's the WB-57 right there. That apparently is grounded. We were expecting that to hang out with us and watch the launch for us, but yeah, that's not happening apparently. So says it's grounded. That would have been the high altitude observation plane and doing observations today. Tony Casey that tweeted it out, which is this guy right here, one of the crew members. Thanks for that, Nomadic. Appreciate that. So we're not going to see that today, but apparently they're going to continue on without it.
Oh, okay.
Looks like a penguin. A lot of people have said that it looks like a penguin. I think that's Felix from What About It. I think their whole channel they call it penguin. Why is it postponed? So we believe fairly confident that it was due to a plane that busted the TFR, the temporary flight restriction. There was a Cessna that got a little bit close to the TFR, and sounds like that's the most plausible reason why they had to call a hold on the count, is that plane violated the no-fly zone, basically.
No-fly
and so
zone.
they had to call a hold at about 2 minutes, and they reset the count, and now we've been waiting for about, it's going to be like an hour and 45 minutes that we're waiting, which is almost to the end of the window. So this will be the last opportunity they have to launch. If they have to call a hold now, that'll be it. It'll be scrubbed for the day. So we're hoping 27 minutes we have a launch, because that'll be the last opportunity. They could hold. I should specify. It depends on when they call the hold. I mean, they could potentially hold for another about 10 minutes. They could add 10 minutes to this clock if they really needed to. But eventually, like once you start fueling the rockets, when you get to about 20 minutes or so, then you're committed. Then you'd have to recycle. That's a problem. So once we get to about 20 minutes, then we're pretty much committed to this last attempt. What happens to the fuel if scrubs? The methane gets recondensed. That gets recovered. Liquid oxygen, there's going to be a bunch that gets recovered, but a lot of it is vented off and lost.
Okay, we are here.
Let's see what else we've got here. Want to see? This is a problem with running these live.
Hello again, ladies and gentlemen.
On our animation here, this is the animated telemetry. This is an educated guest from Flight Club, which we will have
Scotty,
on the
well as Jeff. Thank you
on
guys
the stream
for joining
when
us again. We're going to go through it
when it goes live, which reminds me that I should probably
Q&A
get these in sync
because we are
about 30 seconds
quite behind.
off here,
So hello, Scotty.
Hello, Jeff. If you're there.
Hello.
Hello. We can hear you.
Update that. Let me just get all these counting to the correct numbers. There. I think we got. Can I do decimals, Declan? I can't do decimals, can I? Oh no, I can do decimals. I think I can. Let's try that. Okay. All right. So I think we're good. Sorry, I want to make sure I got these update. Oh boy, now I broke it. Wow. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right, I got those synced up so that hopefully when the rocket launches, the telemetry starts. Because again, it's simulated telemetry. It's an educated guess. What's the setup in your studio? I'm gonna probably our Patreon members have been asking for like a studio tour, which I'll probably do on Patreon. I mean, well, that's kind of some of the behind the scenes stuff that I would do with like Patreon members and YouTube channel members over in our Discord. So we might do that. A lot of people have been asking about that. Hey, there's my buddy Chad Colby joining the chat. I see him jumping in. I wonder if Chad. I'm not sure if Chad was in here before, but I know Chad's a pilot. I wonder what Chad's opinion is on the pilot busting the TFR. The Cessna that was flying VFR that busted the TFR. That's a lot of FRs there. Chad, tell me what you think. We got a Cessna pilot, busted the TFR, caused a hold. Tell me your thoughts, Chad. Chad and I went to a NASA social together. We watched, which one was that? That was a CRS mission, CRS 17 that we went and saw the launch together. It was pretty awesome.
Okay,
what's your education? I'm a software engineer. That's what I do for my real job.
live.
You think we'll see nuclear-powered rockets? Maybe. The thing with nuclear-powered rockets is there's a huge safety margin there that's like, if something goes wrong, like now you're spewing, plutonium or radioactive material through the atmosphere. Like, that could be a big problem.
That's a no-go.
I'm sure he had a phone number to call when he got back to the airport. Yeah, I think they gave him the phone number while he was in flight. They didn't even let him land first. He got the number to FISDO while he was still in flight. Let's see what else we got for some questions. I'm gonna try to do another like synopsis here in just a couple of minutes as people start to join in. But I will tell you, this is super important. Obviously, I get super excited about it. I get excited about every rocket launch, but I do think this is super important. Like, this is something people don't want to miss because we got a little bit of history here. So, if you would consider it, consider sharing this stream out. And even if you don't want to share mine, like, share the SpaceX one, share somebody, and tell your friends that they should be watching this because this.
Minus 15 minutes.
Oh, I got 2 audio streams up. Mute that one. So, you should tell your friends about this because they should see this. Years from now, if we have Starship landing on the moon or Starship landing on Mars, like, you could come back and say, like, you know what? I saw the very first one that they ever flew. I mean, we've done, like, the little hops. They didn't even have a nose cone on them. We had Starhopper. We had SN5. We had SN6. Like, those are cool. That was a lot of fun. That was still crazy. But, like, this is the first fully assembled Starship that's flying. Like, imagine 10 years from now, or maybe sooner. Who knows? They might be landing on the moon in 4 years from now. Or at least flying around the moon 40 years from now. And you can look back and be like, man, you remember when we were with Tori and we were watching the Starship launch, the very first one launched? Like, look how far we've come. Like, that's gonna be a pretty awesome feat. So, this is just my opinion. I think you should share it. What, you share mine? That's cool. That'd be awesome. Helps the channel, but it's not even for selfish reasons. Like, go share SpaceX's if you want. Share SpaceX. Share any of the other creators, NASA Spaceflight, all the other video creators. Share somebody's. Tell somebody to watch this stuff. This is pretty cool. Okay, let me get off my soapbox.
13 minutes, 13 minutter.
All right.
Alright, nu begynder vi igen at få sved på banden.
Darb says, my boy Mason wants to know if you believe aliens are out there. I think that the probability that we're alone in the universe is very small, meaning that I think there is life out there somewhere. Whether we'll actually find it or discover it is a whole nother question. I'm not so sure about, like, the little green men running around that are hiding behind rocks on Mars. Like, that might be not so. I don't think that's a thing, but I think there's life out there somewhere. Well, and I guess I shouldn't even say the little green men. I don't think there's the little green men hiding around in our solar system, but maybe other systems. Who knows? Just the idea that we would be alone seems like a very, very small percentage. It's kind of terrifying when you start thinking about it, because it either means that there's a whole the great filter debate, which is basically like either there's that, like, we're super unique and just no other life is formed, which is kind of sad, or there's some great filter in the future that's like other life forms have progressed to these advanced states but couldn't progress any further. I don't know. We could go deep into all that stuff, but there you go. Less Scully, more Mulder then. I know that's a reference to a show, but I can't think of what the name is on that. Nomadic says, do you believe that given the enormity of time, that perhaps we may be the first intelligent life, the bottom of the universe's evolutionary totem pole? Yeah, well, that's kind of where I was going with that, is like, I don't know what I believe. Like, that just seems like it gets too deep. X-Files, thank you, everybody telling me on that. Yeah, I don't know what I believe. That, are we the first intelligent life? I don't know. I would like to think no, but I have no idea. Alan on Twitch wants an invite to the Discord server. Yeah, here you go, Alan. Let me drop it in the. Let me drop an invite into the chat. We'll put one all over the place. We'll put one. We'll put one in the YouTube chat so everybody has it. You get a nice little invite from your friendly Nightbot. If I can grab, like, the chat's scrolling too fast, I can't copy the link. Oh, okay, well, close enough. I'll have to delete all that extra stuff. All right, and then we'll go into a recap for all the people that are new, maybe that just joined, all the new people that just joined because you just shared this all with your friends, right?
10 minutes.
Well, I'll give you a recap of what we're about to see, hopefully in 10 minutes from now.
Here we go again.
Okay. Let's do the recap real quick while we have 10 minutes to do so. I think that'll be good. All right. Let's see. Let's get let me show you the flight club. We'll show you the 3D animation.
T-minus 10 minutes.
Here we go. T-minus 10 minutes. We got a little bit of time, but here we go. We'll take a look. All right. So here's our flight club 3D animation. This is what we're expecting to see today. This is it's basically more or less straight up, straight down. It's not quite straight up, straight down, but we're under powered flight here, which is the red section. You'll have an engine cutoff, a coast to apogee, or our peak. Then we're going to get a belly flop maneuver. So it's going to fly pretty much more or less straight up, maybe a little bit of a pitch towards the ocean, tiny bit, probably not even noticeable, but it's pretty much straight up. Straight up. Then it's going to flip over and do this belly flop maneuver. Some people have said it's going to go up and kind of just gradually go into the belly flop maneuver. I've also seen some people think that it's going to go up and almost like backflip into like, I don't know. I guess if this is the downside, they would like backflip into the belly flop maneuver. I don't know. I can't even explain it. I've seen some 3D renders of it from the awesome 3D renderings. But so it's going to go into this belly flop maneuver, and then it's going to activate the flapper thingers, right? But we're calling the ailerons. I'm stealing that term from Everyday Astronaut. I'm sorry, Tim. It's a great term. I'm stealing it. The ailerons. We're going to steal those. Steal that name. They're going to activate the finners, the fin thingers, right? Coming down. It'll use those for aerodynamics to kind of guide the rocket passively back towards the landing site. Then at the last minute, it does this crazy flip over maneuver. So the engines are going to fire because it's in this belly flop. When the engines fire, it's going to use their gimbals to flip it upright. But when they fire like this, you're going to get horizontal velocity like this. So they're going to fire, introduce horizontal velocity, overcorrect, cancel the horizontal velocity, and then land. It'll be crazy. It's going to be just like, it's exactly the sound it's going to make too. Boom. Now that's the part that I don't know if it's gonna happen correctly. That's the part I'm worried about, is that last little bit, that last like I'm expecting, here's what I'm expecting. This is just what I'm picturing in my head. I'm expecting I should give SpaceX more credit, but that it's just in my head. I cannot picture. We just said something's clear at this time. I cannot picture that flip around. But that's what it's going to do. And you'll see, if we zoom in a little more here on Flight Club, you'll see that the landing, before they do the flip around, is targeting off the pad here, off to the side. So they've got to do that flip around to actually get to the pad. So if something fails...
Maritime zone is clear at this time.
Maritime zone is clear. That's the ocean. The ocean is clear. Talking about clearing the space again. So they've got to do the flip around maneuver. If the engines don't light for the flip around, it'll just crash into the ground and not the launch pad, so they won't ruin the launch pad. It's only traveling about 500 feet. It's like 160 meters or so, right from here to here. It's not very far. That's roughly what we're expecting. Weather's great. It's looking fantastic out there right now. Nothing too concerning. Let's see, what else did we miss? We got to keep the planes out of the area. That's the idea. We're launching in Boca Chica, Texas here. This is not Cape Canaveral, Florida. This is Boca Chica, Texas, way down here on the southern tip, right next to the Mexico border here. Just north, here's the Mexico border, right down here. Where is the Mexico border? Isn't this it?
Oh,
where is it?
Real.
I don't know where it is. Somewhere in this range. It's right here, I think. Isn't it? Or is it right here? Well, anyways, here's Boca Chica is right here. I don't have my bearings, but there's Boca Chica. There's the launch site. Pretty close to the beach. Right there. Exclusion zone. Here's Boca Chica Village right there. Everybody is out of Boca Chica Village. They had to evacuate that for this test because it's too close. It's like barely just over 2 miles. There's also people up here in this region. That's where a bunch of the reporters and space community is filming from up here. They're watching towards the southern end, this direction. So we're watching that. What else can we tell you? We got to keep planes out of the area. Hopefully we're done with those.
Okay, yeah.
And let's see, I should close some of these windows just to be sure, because we're coming down. We're at 5 minutes now. We can close that.
Okay.
We got a bunch of things to close. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what we're expecting. And
T-minus 5 minutes.
here we go, 5 minutes. We have, hopefully it'll work okay.
Yeah. Be klar.
Oh, it's off. Hold on. Let me reset. I gotta reset my.
Go space jump. Go Raptor.
My countdown offset here. Hold on. Give me a second. Flight Club was off. It's a good thing I checked it. There you go. That's pretty much right on the money here now. Okay, I gotta keep an eye on that because I have to manually tell Flight Club how much time is left on the counter so that our simulated telemetry here, this is an educated guess. I mean, there's a lot of math involved here. So it's not just like somebody was just like, yeah, sure, looks like this. Educated guess. Declan at flightclub.io is a magician as far as I'm concerned. Like, this is so much work, but this will give us simulated telemetry so we can get a rough idea on the altitude we're at, speed, the G-force, the throttle, how much fuel's left in it, which engines are activated. A lot of people have, I don't know if I still have it up. Oh, there it is. A lot of people have asked about
How much are we going to see?
the, hold on, let's see, let's close that. We don't need that. We don't need that. A lot of people have asked about the G-force on the vehicle. We're not expecting a lot of G-force here, so even on that flip around maneuver, which is the peak, we're talking like 2.8 Gs at the peak here. That's what Declan at Flight Club is estimating it to be. So not a ton of acceleration there. And also, I mentioned it a bunch yesterday, but we don't know what the seat design is going to be for any astronauts in here. So, you know, whether astronauts get sick or not doing the little roller coaster ride at the end, they could put seats in the rocket that could gimbal to smooth that out so that you're just, you're facing up. And as the rocket swings underneath you, like, your seats could just gimbal and stay facing the same direction so you don't have all those forces on your body. You'll still have, like, gravitational forces a little bit, but you wouldn't have that big swing around. So that could be possible. I'm not saying they're doing that. Uh-oh, looks like we got another hold. Oh, just kidding. Just kidding. We're okay. We're okay. Just a quick hold. That's not unusual because, except it just screwed up my offset here. Just do that. Okay, I'm back on. I just got to keep an eye on this Flight Club thing, otherwise it's not going to work. I got nervous for a second. I saw that hold, but yesterday we saw a hold at 13 seconds, and the hold only lasted 4 seconds. That's okay. They can do that. We're getting
2 minutes.
We're getting a lot of venting now here.
Oh, 2 minutes.
Let's get rid of this. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. I'm trying to get rid of some of my stuff. Okay, we're coming down to it. Now we're at 1.5 minutes. So we made it farther than we did earlier. But not as far as yesterday. Yesterday we made it down to 1.3 seconds.
1 second.
But remember, we had a hold at 13 seconds before launch yesterday.
Yeah, right there.
We got no WB-57 in the air for observations. That's a shame. That's okay. We're pressing forward.
1 minute.
Here we go. All right, 1 minute left.
1 minute.
Give me a go, no go in the chat.
Go.
Retro. Booster.
Go.
Fido. There's no booster, so we don't need booster. Forget you, booster.
Go.
Give me a go, no go in chat.
Go. Go, 45 seconds.
All right. Here, oh God, here we go. 42 seconds.
40.
There comes the spam. There comes the go spam. I love it. Everybody's go. Perfect. I love it. I love it. Here we go.
Oh, no.
Oh, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Come on now. Come on, we got this. We can do it. We can do it. Oh, jeez. Come on. Come on, 15. Here we go. Here we go.
12.
Go, baby.
Go for flight.
Go for flight.
10,
Yes.
8, 7, 6,
5,
4, 3,
2.
1.
Whoa!
Trim liftoff.
Here it is, though. Oh! There we go.
All teams triage alarms.
400 miles. 32, 34, 35, 37, 38, 40. 1 kilometer. 1 kilometer. 600 miles per hour. There we go. We're gonna stop in 2 seconds. It's high, man. It's high. It's high. Okay, I can tell you. Yes, there we go. Stop the engine.
Look at that engine gimbal. Holy smokes, look at that one. That's a hard gimbal.
Here we go.
Look at those engines gimbal. Oh my goodness. Is it gonna do the flip?
Yeah. We're gonna do the flip.
Oh, it looks like there's an engine out. We got one engine out? Is that engine out?
Yes, mate. Go.
I think we're engine out on one. Uh-oh.
One engine on the left.
We got one engine out. I don't know if that's on purpose. I just want to make sure our volume was up. I don't know what's happening. It looks like we have one engine out, right? This one.
Here's one.
But is that on purpose? It would be weird if it was on purpose. Can the other two handle it? And this is way longer than I expected. I expected the flight to be only 3 to 4 minutes total.
Yeah. Why so?
Look at him gimbal. Oh.
Oh!
Uh-oh. Now we got 2 engines out.
2 engines out. One left.
Oh no. Now there are 2 engines out. This one's out too.
One out. All gonna go out. It's gonna go like.
What's going on? We don't know
It's
what's
going
happening.
very, very far away. Yeah. One engine. 2 engines.
I got rid of the telemetry because we were way off. I expected it to be landed by this point. It still seems like it's pretty high up.
Good, we can see on the on the top here.
Oh, it looks like it's coming down now. That top right view looks like it's coming down.
Yes. Top view.
Does that not look like it's coming down?
Here, it's coming down. Engine is
Oh
blowing.
boy.
My God. Doing the flip maneuver. Yeah.
Oh, what was that?
Hey!
Oh.
Yeah,
Is this the flip?
Yes, about to flip.
It's flipping. Something's happening. Oh my God.
Coming down.
What? What is happening? I don't know. Oh my goodness.
Stabilize.
What is this? Oh God, I wish I knew what was supposed to be happening.
5 minutes.
Oh, it did the flip.
Did the flip,
This looks like the animation. Maybe the engine mounts were on purpose. Look at you can see it. You can see it moving.
Falling.
Oh my goodness.
Falling. Så
Oh my god. Dude, we're gonna replay this a million times. I'm never going to bed.
Oh, wow. Go Space Up, go Raptor. Go home. You can see it's stabilized.
Look at that view.
Vertical.
Dude, it just
What's that
literally
say?
is doing the belly flop. It's just
Falling.
it's not flying, it's falling.
It's free fall.
Look at the flaps go.
Oh,
Oh, what's happening? Oh, what's that? Clouds?
a cloud.
What is that? It's gotta be clouds. Coming back through the clouds? It's coming down. Look, you can see the little the smoke coming.
The bridge. There we go, the bridge. Yay! Bernie! Bernie! Abort! Abort! Get too quick. Too quick. Oh my God.
Oh my god.
It's gone.
Oh, well, it didn't stick to the landing, but
That was fantastic.
oh,
That was
holy
amazing.
smokes.
That was. I can't have word for that. What was it?
Oh my god.
It all burned out. One big burn, one big blast. 6 hours and 42.
I don't
6
even
minutes and
know.
42 seconds.
I got nothing. I have no idea. I don't even. We're gonna replay this. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
Of course. Replay again and again and again. That
Well.
was the blow.
Rolling to anomaly net, opening 3.911 at this time.
Incredible work, team. Nice work.
Incredible work, indeed. This will be a reminder for you. It did not need to land to be successful. That was a success
That was
because
a
holy
success.
smokes, it did almost everything it was supposed to do. And again, it's a test flight.
Yeah.
It just had to.
That was fun.
They just had
That
to test the
was
vehicle. As long as they
amazing.
learned something that they didn't know before the test. Awesome test. Congrats, Starship team. Isn't that the truth? As long as they learned something
Yeah.
that they didn't know before the test, that's a success. But holy smokes, was that?
It was,
I don't, oh,
it was too.
I don't even know
It
what
was
to
too
say.
late.
Yeah, and I guess we're gonna have to go back. We gotta go back and watch some of this because I gotta digest that. I think I blacked out for a bit. Oh my goodness.
Awesome. Okay, we get eagle in
That was insane.
Awesome.
There's the carnage. That's what's left of it. It landed on, it hit the pad, which is kind of crazy. That was... Oh my goodness. I'm still just, like, I don't even know what to say about it. Nomadic says he's never hit the deck so fast in my life. And we're across the canal. Oh. Oh, yeah, I forgot you were there. You're there, Nomadic. That? I'm sure Nomadic you probably could hear it from there, but... Oh. Wow. Just... Wow. We're gonna replay this in a second.
Oh, it's really nice.
SN9 up next. Yeah, not today, but SN9 is right behind it. And it surprisingly doesn't look like the vehicle is that damaged. Or not the vehicle. The vehicle is damaged. The launch pad, or landing pad. That's what I meant to say. The vehicle is damaged.
Yeah.
It's just a scratch. It'll buff out. It is fine.
We get it up again.
Buff out.
We get it up again.
There you go. Okay. I was just waiting for them to end it so that I could... Because we, like... Can we... Can we just... I don't know. Can we... What did we just watch? What the... is that? Oh my...
That was amazing.
That was awesome.
Insane.
Holy smokes. That has to be the craziest thing I've ever seen. I don't even know what to say. We gotta replay it, but holy smokes. Like, that was truly nuts.
No,
That was nuts.
That was nuts.
I don't know what I'm saying. Literally, I have no idea what to say right now. I'm like reading your chat, and like my mind is just like blank. Like I don't know what to say. We're just gonna have to watch it again because I don't even know what we just watched. Like, okay, we're gonna replay it. Framrick, thanks for the super chat, Framrick. He says it was just like your Kerbal streams. Yeah, well, unfortunately for them, I actually landed it today in Kerbal. So. But again, I will say, I like to preface this because you get a lot of people that would see stuff like this and they're like, fail, it failed. This is not a failure. This is a test flight. They had to learn something. Nobody's ever done this before. And as long as they learn something, it's a success. So I would consider that a success because that was darn good. Like, the whole time, I was waiting for the flight termination charges to fire. I was like, oh, something's wrong. Something's wrong. They're going to blow it. They're going to blow it. I was just waiting. I was waiting for them to just blow it into smithereens. I was like, oh, it's not, this isn't right. This isn't right. But they did it. Oh, crazy. I'm going to grab a couple of these super chats and we're going to replay here. James McEnely became a channel member. Thanks, James. Appreciate that. M. Omar Tariq, thanks for the super chat. Cody Padilla, thanks. Became a channel member at the astronaut level. Thanks, Cody. Appreciate that. Really appreciate your support. Star Andrea, super sticker. Thank you very much. Chucka FPV says, just a slight anomaly on landing. Yeah, that's true. Amatki, became a channel member as well. Hat Patel, thanks for the super chat, and Framrick, of course, throwing my Kerbal skills under the bus. He's not wrong. All right, can we Can we replay that? Like, what was that? We're not even gonna get rid of the events list. We don't need that. Like, we need to replay. Let's put the replay text on. Where do, like, oh my goodness. That was crazy. Do I talk over it, or do you want to watch one replay? Let's watch one replay, and I won't say it. I'm just going to talk a little bit, and then we'll watch a second replay, and I'll analyze.
My God, what's it right?
Stage rapid go for flight.
One engine out.
T-minus 10, 8, 7, 6.
Hold on, pause for a second. I know this is like... But Framrick had a good point. He said that before we do that replay, Framrick said that SpaceX might take the stream down now, and he might not be wrong. So I'm going to, just in case, try to retain that. Okay, let's back it up a touch. Okay.
T-minus 30.
That was awesome. That was fantastic. Go Raptor! Go Raptor!
Stage route is go for flight. T-minus 10, 8,
You got the
7,
engine?
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
Ignition!
0.
This was...
We have liftoff.
Out of the smoke.
All teams triage alarms.
Fantastic.
That was the first thing that stood out to me. That doesn't seem intentional. But maybe it is. We don't even know. So we have it. This is engine out. We got one engine out right now. there's, looks like we got another engine out. And this is the point where I was like, well, maybe it was intentional. Like, maybe they're doing it to reduce thrust. I want to see this belly flop start. Oh, yeah, right there. There's the flip like that. So I thought it was going to flip the other way.
Oh.
We're gonna have to watch this again. What time is this at? 4:50.
It's only
And then like this view right here, the one in the top, that's like almost exactly like the 3D renders that some of the 3D renderers have put out. Like that view right there. It's, I mean, at the end of the day, like the thing did go into a million pieces, but like it looks like the flappers are the flapping thingers are doing they're doing the flapping. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Which is kind of crazy. And I told you before, like the very end, the flip around maneuver, that's what I was most worried about. And then the landing bird surprised the heck out of me. Okay, it seems like it's coming down like way faster than I expected it to. I mean, I don't know what I expected. Like, it's just a falling hunk of metal at this point. Look at, there's the engines gimbling. Oh. All right, now there's a couple things that doesn't necessarily, there were a couple things that people commented that don't necessarily surprise me. It looks like they only fired up 2 engines. Let's back that up. It looks like they only fired up 2 engines, and that was kind of expected, is that they were only going to use 2 engines to land. So you can see that right here, you get 2 engines that fire up, not the third one, just the 2 that are next to each other down there. They're gimbling hard. Like, look at this thing flip around, which is just insane. Now they do the overcorrect. And now it looks like, so now we're getting some green here. It looks like we almost get an engine out, because now it's gimbling like crazy. It looks like one of them actually went out, and now we're only on 1 engine. And it's like super green, which what would that be? I don't know what that would be. A bunch of people saying it's the engine failing. I I don't know, but yeah, it looks like it's only coming down on one engine here, and then we get a burst of... And then it's, you know, obviously it's going to hit hard, and that's where you get the big boom there. All right, a bunch of people are telling me that Elon tweeted. Let me, give me a second. I literally have like 1,000 notifications, plus everybody's tweeting pictures, pictures of me at myself, which I love, by the way. Let's see. All right, let me put these tweets on the screen here. So there's 2 tweets from Elon. Oh, my heart rate is just coming down now. What did we just watch? Like, what was that? That was so crazy. I'll get to your comments here in a second, but like I don't know what to do. I'm never gonna sleep. I don't know what that was. I'm still just in shock. All right. Let's see. All right, can I put this on the screen here? Here's the tweet from Elon. Fuel header tank pressure was low. So there's a... I'll just read this. Fuel header tank pressure was low during the landing burn, causing touchdown velocity to be high. That seemed pretty straightforward. And RUD, meaning rapid unscheduled disassembly, meaning she went... but we got all the data we needed. Congrats, SpaceX team. Heck yeah. It's not exactly what he says, but you can read it right there on the screen for yourself. That's what so a couple people have said that methane burns green. That's what I was wondering, like maybe it was fuel rich for some reason. But yeah, it says the fuel header tank pressure was low. So they weren't getting the fuel flow that they needed. That was nuts. Hey, TJ from I Need More Space. Thanks, man. You didn't have to do that. It's another... TJ makes some pretty awesome videos himself. He's got his own YouTube channel. Make sure you check out I Need More Space. He said, but thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. Said, 10 out of 10 times I blow chunks on Starship landing. That's what we... I mean, that seemed just nuts. But one of the things that... I mean, this is complete speculation, but one of the things that people have speculated is, like, what kind of seats would they have in Starship? Like, would they have some sort of gimbling seats so that, like, you don't feel all that movement like that? So that you're not just puking your brains out on landing? I mean, I feel like they almost have to. Because that was nuts. Let's go watch that again. And it surprised me. Like, you'll see the engine start to gimbal here. Right there. They light up. Oh, no. Oh, this is the end of the flip. I'm too far back. What time was the landing burn? This flight was way longer than I expected it to be, too. I thought they were going to land by, like, 3.5 to 4 minutes. So much slower, which is probably good, but... What time? Oh, there it is. This was unreal, this part. Watch, you see the engines start to gimbal here in this view. There they go. Boom. Look at how fast it flips over. Oh, and it looks like it missed the pad, too. Did it miss the pad? Like, look at that top view. Did it miss the pad? Like, isn't this the pad right here? Seems like it missed the pad a little bit too. But I can't, well, in this other view here. Right there, it kind of seems like it hit the pad. But in this, maybe it might have been like right on the edge of the pad. But of course, if your engines aren't burning at what they're supposed to be, like then then obviously you're gonna have a hard time getting to your target. Let's see. Can you switch yourself to the other side? Yeah, sure. I'll switch myself to the other side. Let me turn the replay text on. I'll bring this down here. Like that. I should have done that beforehand. I didn't think about it. Let's play the whole flip around back, and then we'll do a full replay again, because that, oh my goodness, we're gonna be here all night watching this. Like, what was that?
That was fun. Hey, flip over.
Oh, that was unreal. Yeah, so the flip around maneuver would be off center of the pad. They would start that flip around maneuver off center, and then it would come back towards the pad. But if those engines aren't burning right, then it could obviously miss the target. Yeah, holy smokes. I don't even know. All right, let me back. I want to comment on a couple of things here, and then we'll watch a replay again, because there were. I want to see this flip over maneuver. This kind of surprised me too. Like, it seemed like they intentionally like shut off some engines. Get rid of the music. We don't need the music. This is entertaining enough. It seemed like they intentionally got rid of some engines there during ascent, right? So we had. That's why I thought there was a problem. Because we had that first engine go out, and I was like, uh-oh, this is a problem. No legs. There are legs on it. There's the legs are right here. There's one right there. There's one right there. There's one right here. There's one right here. Those are the landing legs. I don't know if they came out or deployed. I didn't look that closely. I don't think that was the problem, though. We're talking like kilometers-ish, which is...
I'm gonna go back again. Sorry. I spoiled it. I'm gonna go on. tried to recover.
But it didn't, and I wanted to watch this a little more closely.
Huh.
Wait, that could also just be the camera angle that's making it look like it's tilted when it's really not. Some people say it looks like they were hovering. It does, I mean, if they're only on one engine. Right here, and now you're starting to see some of the exhaust. It looks like some of the exhaust coming back into the skirt, which would indicate that they're falling now at this point. And it's right about here that they, like, at this point I was like, oh, they're gonna blow it. The flight termination charges are coming. I thought they were gonna blow it. Oh, right there's another. That's when they cut off the other engine. Right there. I thought, oh, it's done now. Then it just flips around. It does the belly flop, like, because now it's coming down here, right? They basically left the engine on until it was almost zero climb. It looks like. I don't know. I can't tell. But you can see all the smoke that's going back up through the rocket there. It looks like it's coming back down now. Starting the belly flop. You can see thruster action in the nose there to try to push that nose down. The flappers are activating, getting their flap on. And then look how stable it is coming down on the belly flop. Like, that's pretty impressive how stable that belly flop is. Like, this is, despite the fact that the thing is in a million pieces now, this is a huge accomplishment. Like, look at how stable this thing is with the flapper sink, like coming down with the flapper, like it is like rock steady. Just that's pretty impressive right there too. Have you ever seen a rocket do this? Never. This is insane. It's kind of crazy to be like. Framrick says I got a few gifts from this one already. I'm afraid to look. Our Discord makes gifs of me all the time. I love them, to be honest, but I'm sure there are a couple, because it was just, oh, it was nuts. So Elon tweeted that the reason for the failure was low pressure in the fuel header tank. It does, so we get a relight of two engines, but that's not surprising to me. I was only expecting the landing burn to be a two-engine landing burn. So it doesn't surprise me that only two engines ignite right here at the end. Look at, oh my God. So the two engine burn doesn't surprise me. It looks like one of them flames out though. That surprises me. It looks like maybe they only landed with one, but given what Elon said, that the pressure in the fuel header tank was low, they could have had a fuel flow or a fuel mixture issue that caused one engine to flame out and the other one to burn that super bright green. Like, it looks like some sort of fuel mixture problem. It was just causing it not to burn too efficiently. So I see a lot of people throwing out speculations and things like that and failures and stuff like that about whether the landing gear failed or whether the engines didn't start on time. So the only official information that we have, which is pretty credible, came directly from Elon Musk. And Elon said that the fuel header tank pressure was low during the landing burn, causing touchdown velocity to be high and rud. We got all the data we needed. Congrats, SpaceX team. Heck yeah. So basically what I'm reading into that personally is it sounds like the engines ignited at the right time. They just weren't producing the...
Hold on.
correct amount of thrust because the pressure problem likely caused one of the engines to flame out, it kind of looks like. Landing gear not deploy. I didn't even see. It sounds like the landing gear didn't deploy. Yeah, so the landing gear never deployed, which we don't know what the trigger is for the landing gear. Like, does the landing gear deploy based on a speed? You know, is it based on radar? Like, what's the basis for actually deploying the landing gear? We don't know. So it's not super surprising that the landing gear didn't deploy if she came in hot here. But that flip around, like, oh, this is unreal. Were there leaks? No, we don't know what the other. Look at the metal buckling on touchdown. Yeah, I saw that actually. We'll replay that in a second. Look at this flip around. This is crazy. Okay. Oh, let's go back. We'll go frame by frame. See you can see the metal buckle right when it touches down. So here they're transitioning to this shot. Still looks like it's okay. It's almost touchdown. Now you're getting pretty close. Right about. Oh, look at, you can see the metal buckle right there. You're already seeing pieces flying. A little bit of camera shake. Oh, I didn't even look. Let me look at the top camera there. Here's that coming down. Look at the wave in the metal. Is that? And then the camera dies. But you can kind of see the metal in the top right camera kind of. And that could be. It kind of looks. No, it doesn't wobble that much. So, yeah, I don't think the wobble is rolling shutter camera shake. All right, yeah, that makes more sense. Thanks, Time Waster. Yeah, so that could be rolling shutter, that little wobble there. That was nuts. That was so crazy. We're gonna watch this a million times. It's unreal. I gotta watch this flip over again. The landing, of course. This is the part I told you I was worried about. This part. I just love how the sound stops too.
Too low, too low.
Like that. I'm just so surprised at how well the actual flip part went. That was the part I was worried about, was the flip part. I thought maybe it would, come in like this, like, oh. But the flip part worked perfectly. That is unreal. Oh my goodness. I can't believe how well the flip worked. Like, that flip was almost everything worked well. It was just, it sounds like in the end it was a, kind of a minor issue, but, turns out to have major results. Holy smokes. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. Just because I need to, like, I gotta, like, collect my thoughts for a second. I'm gonna replay this whole thing uninterrupted. I'm gonna go off camera for a second. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna use the facilities and grab a drink and try to catch my breath.
Yeah.
I want to replay this whole thing.
That was awesome.
And then we're gonna come back and talk some more. Because I just don't, like, I feel like I don't even know what to say. This was insane. Oh, gosh. Alright, watch this one more time. We're gonna replay this. I'm gonna play the whole thing straight through all the way to landing, uninterrupted, while I stand up and stretch my legs for just a second. That was nuts. Oh my goodness. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to walk away for a second. Alright, I'm gonna walk away for just a second. And you guys watch replay, and I'll be right back. I'll be right back after landing here. Don't go too far. I will say, consider, if you're not a member of our Discord, it's free to join if you want to talk space with everybody. So consider joining Discord, and if you want to become a part of the inner circle, consider supporting us on Patreon or becoming a channel member. Helps the channel. It all goes back into the channel. We're a non-profit charity, so none of it comes to me. It goes to the channel. Okay. Holy smokes. I don't know what to say. Okay, let's replay it. I'm gonna walk away for real, and I'll be right back when after it lands in pieces. All right, we'll see you in just a couple minutes. Oh, we want to keep that one on. We want this one off. All right, see you in a minute.
T-minus 1 minute. T-minus 30.
That was insane. Okay, that was insane.
Stage wrap is go for flight. T-minus 10, 8,
Take it one more
7,
time.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We are liftoff.
We are all good. So well, so.
All teams triage alarms.
That was amazing. Okay. It was amazing that the flip, this one was normally, except for, they didn't want to go supersonic, so they shut it down, one of the engines. Not to get too much speed, and so it quickly go to zero. When it stopped going to zero, it went down. Now we can see it's going up, gets smaller and smaller. The coast. Remember to look at the coast. Tomorrow I'm going to fly there. I know. Look at the coast. the coast. Hello, look at the coast. We are going up, up. Something is burning inside the shield. We are going up, but now we are almost stopping. We are still going up on 2 engine to get the lower and lower, to get the speed not so quick. It's going lower, lower we are going up, up, still up, still up. And it's retracted. The wings are on, you can see that. They are not retracted. We are still going up. Still up. The screen gonna be some, you can see it here, up on the top, up here. Now it's turning a little bit. Only one engine, and it's rolling. It's rolling, and now we are going down. The speed is accelerating down. Still down. And you can see it's moving a little bit. Also the engine. We have one engine. We are descending. Yes, or are we? We are all, no, we are descending. 60, now we are moving. We are turning. We are going outwards, and then it's going to turn to what do you call it? There we go. We turn to vertical, no, horizontal by the flaps. They're moving in, now they're moving out. Whoop, 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 whoop. There you go. Engine has stopped, and we are now falling free fall. 10 kilometers per second. 10 meters per second. We are falling, still falling. We are engine the flaps, called flaps. Aileron, aileron. It's moving, but it is not falling, not tumbling around. It's just free fall, very easy. Now it's speeding up. You can see the horizon here. We are around 30,000 feet. Flaps is quite big. We are going out. I don't know. No, we are going back to the beach. No, back to the airport, to launch pad. Launch pad, there it's done. Now we got it grip. Oh my god, it's over. See it? Oh. And then we have a problem. And then it's off. Wow. So we are inside. Inside the quarter of.
Well, there it is. That's there's our replay of it. Oh, it's still just like I just can't believe what we just witnessed. That was the craziest thing. That is probably the craziest thing I've ever seen in spaceflight. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite so crazy. I'm still speechless. I took a 5-minute break and I still don't know what to say. Yeah. So a couple of things that I've seen being thrown around in comments.
Rolling to anomaly net, opening 3.911 at this time.
Incredible work, team. Nice work.
It seems like, and Elon also confirms this, that's Nomadic says that's because you weren't alive when the Saturn V was being developed. Maybe, you might be right. You might have me there. So if we look at, we'll look at Elon Musk's Twitter here.
Elon Musk.
He also said, successful ascent, switch over to header tanks, and precise flap control to the landing point, which is also a pretty big deal. So, I mean, that basically tells me that pretty much everything went according to plan. There were a couple things that happened that kind of surprised some people, and myself included. Oh, there we go. You lost the stream. You gotta refresh. Okay. So there were a couple things that surprised people, including me, that we want to try to get rid of some of the rumors. So we had some engines go out during ascent, and apparently that was expected because they don't seem to be that concerned about it, and the engines relit at the end. Now, speaking of the end, only 2 of the 3 relit at the end. That was kind of expected. We expected only 2 engines to fire at the end of for the actual landing burn. When the engines flamed out, they generated a little bit of extra like orange flaminess. That's also normal. That's kind of what I would expect to see when an engine flames out. You get kind of uneven combustion as the engine is shutting down. You don't have as much of that forceful pressure out of the combustion chamber there. So the little bit of extra fire happening around the engine when they flame out, that doesn't surprise me either. The landing legs didn't come out. That's not too crazy surprising because they were coming in hot. So the landing legs probably didn't know they were supposed to come out yet. So it doesn't surprise me the landing legs came out. The flame outs don't surprise me. The only 2 of the 3 engines reigniting for landing doesn't surprise me. So I guess the things that I seem to feel are an anomaly, the bits that I feel like didn't go right. I mean, obviously we have the main part where it didn't land, but it seems like, I mean, from what Elon said, they had a low pressure in the header tanks, which is what they switched to. They're in the nose of the Starship. They switched to those header tanks to use those for the landing flip around. And so they switched over to those just fine, but it sounds like they had low pressure in the fuel header tank, and that would have caused uneven, a bad fuel flow, bad fuel mixture. Seems like it caused one of the engines to flame out because it looked like we landed with only 1 engine, which I don't think was normal. But so here we just had 1 engine flame out. That seems, in retrospect, that seems intentional. The extra flaminess happening, that also seems it seems normal. I'm not too surprised by that either. Then we'll have the second one flame out. That also seems intentional and normal. But it seemed like one of the engines flamed out at the end. That doesn't seem normal to me. But obviously the big problem was low pressure in the fuel header tank, which would have caused bad fuel mixture wouldn't have gotten enough thrust or ideal thrust from the engine, so it couldn't slow it down. It also seems to have missed the landing sites by just a little bit, which is likely due to that same problem, same root cause there, where if you didn't have enough thrust, that kick around, it seemed to happen pretty normal, but that kick around might have been just slightly off, where it basically, it looked like it made it to the edge of the pad, not dead center. So, I don't think, correct me if somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a lot of people saying the green flame is the TTEB, the triethyl aluminum, triethyl borane. I don't think the Raptor engines use TTEB. I think they're a spark igniter. So there's no TTEB in the rocket. That's the Raptor engines, I believe, are spark ignition. The TTEB, it's triethyl aluminum, triethyl borane, is used in the Falcon 9 rocket. That's the ignition. It's pyrophoric, meaning once they come in contact with each other, they ignite. Or once they come in contact with oxygen. I always get them confused. Hypergolic is when they come in contact with each other. Pyrophoric is when they come in contact with oxygen. They ignite, right? But that TTEB is used to ignite the Falcon 9 Merlin engines. The Raptor engines, I believe, is those are spark plug or spark ignited. And Nomadic, I keep going to you this broadcast because you got good words of wisdom here. But Nomadic says data is everything to us engineers. You know that as a software engineer, and that is the truth. So RUD or no RUD, the data that SpaceX was after was gathered. That's a win. I 100% agree, and I said this a million times before the launch. Yesterday's broadcast, it doesn't have to land to be a successful test. They're trying to gather data, and that's exactly what they did. The fact that the ascent went normal, and like I didn't think it was going normal because of the engine flameouts, like that was unexpected to me, but sounds like that went normal. The fact that it did the belly flop, the fact that it was rock steady during the belly flop, like look at right here. This flip over, like pretty graceful, and that little bit of flaminess there from the engines, that doesn't surprise me. Again, it's there when they cut the engines, that's generally expected. We see that on Falcon 9 too, but then it does this belly flop, and it's pretty steady. Now listen, I'm no expert in Kerbal, but I've tried this a million times in Kerbal, and 9 out of 10 times I end up tumbling end over end. So if Kerbal is any sort of indication as to how difficult this is, it's not easy. So this is crazy that it was just rock steady on the way down, and that those fins, the flaps there, like actually just they worked perfectly. That's crazy. Are the gases from the explosion harmful? Well, the methane is probably not great for the environment, but they would have done an environmental impact statement to say like what kind of impact they would have on the environment, and it's a very, very small amount. So yeah, it's not great. Ideally, you don't want to blow up a rocket, but it'd have a very, very small, minuscule environmental impact, especially being at the end of the flight. There's almost no fuel left in the rocket at the end of the flight, so very, very minimal environmental impact.
Okay, we're gonna stop. Oh, I'm gonna see it again. Yeah.
A lot of people think that it should be doing the belly flop earlier. I mean, for what we saw, the belly flop, like the actual maneuver itself, went just fine. You just need a little more thrust, because like they got it right here. They got it back upright. Oh. And then it comes in hot. Woo!
It comes low.
Yowza!
Okay,
so yeah, I mean, I think the timing of the
late.
I think the timing of it was just fine. It just seems like they just didn't have the amount of thrust that they needed.
So let's go. Have a good evening. Bye bye, people. Bye bye, YouTube. Bye bye, Twitter.
You know what? I'm gonna to stop it right here. You know what's crazy to me? I mean, we'll do the thing in a second, but what's crazy to me is how, when it does that flip around...
Yeah, that was quick.
That's crazy. So, when it does that, what I'm trying to say about, when it does the flip around, watch how fast the engine's gimbal from being, let's see, I guess it's this way, like falling like this, and the engine's gimbal up this direction. So you see the exhaust coming out here, flips around, and then they quickly gimbal to the other direction to slow that down. Like, it's crazy how fast that action is happening.
Yeah, it was amazing. Okay, we're gonna stop. I can see you tomorrow. You can see it all. Okay, bye-bye.
Right here. Watch the gimbal. Oh.
Too late, too late. And then the smash. Bye-bye.
I mean, just the fact that they were straight up and down at the end was nuts. Like, that was, like, I didn't think they were gonna make it straight up and...
Okay, oh.